Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every single Friday. If you are new, we ask juicy questions and we blend our energies. We hang out for a while and it's usually a pretty good time. So today we have a lovely juicy reading. This is one over on Patreon. We vote for the readings that we do, and sometimes they're extremely close. And this month it was 41% for one topic, 43% for the other. This is the one that was 41%, so we decided to do it over here on the channel, and it is what are yours, or if you're in a situation with somebody, what are their core wounds, and what was imprinted on you. Okay, what was imprinted on you and what are their core wounds? It's funny that I just did that because I couldn't remember the last part of it, and we have like a little board over here, and Alex was like, I'm so insecure with my handwriting, and I was like, I'm sure it's fine. Then I was like,
Yeah,
so
thanks.
I'm sure that's not a core
Insecurity.
what well, I'm sure that's not a core wound of yours. So maybe for some of you, your core wound, and maybe it's someone speaking about it in public. I don't know. Maybe for some of you, we're confronting a core wound right now. What a start. What a train wreck start to this reading. I'm sure it's only going to get better. So anyways, we have this juicy reading. We do have 3 piles, and we do have an anchor card because we read the cards together. I'm tapping into general energies, but if you're picking up on things that may be true for your situation or even like a subgroup situation, and so I know that a lot of people like to know like the cards and everything. So we've got the vow for the anchor card. So this isn't one of the choices, but it is the anchor rooted reading that's in all of the piles. And I'm strongly getting attachment for this. For that right there. I'm just strongly getting like attachment stuff, attachment styles, kind of being rooted in that. So that is that. And we've got 3 piles here as per usual. Pile Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat, starting us off strong. Good morning here, but we'll be in and out working, sending love here for the train wreck. So pile number 1 is the box. Pile number 2 is Kairos, and pile number 3 is the storm. So I'll put this up here. If you haven't already chosen your pile, or even if you have, now is a good time to just gather yourself and take a deep breath and just allow your energy to rest, settle, sink below conscious awareness, tapping into the part of yourself that is below your name and the scratch you're feeling on your left forearm and the to-do list that you have to do, and just connect with that part, the witnessing presence, as they call it, the observer that is beyond time and space, that has lived many lifetimes and might live many more. And just rest there. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles you feel drawn to, keeping in mind the way in which you're drawn to your pile might be a clarifying message in and of itself, especially as we're reading for a lot of people. It can mean a lot of different things, and just being open to what it might be trying to tell you could be helpful. I'll leave that up there for just another second. I love this. We've got the non-committal group that's just going to watch the whole reading, sounding off in the comments, which can be helpful too, I think. Okay, so let us do this. Let us go to pile number 1, which is the box. What are your core wounds? And of course, I'm going to start us off with a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion. And of course, you can be drawn into multiple piles. You could have, multiple core wounds. That's not at all uncommon. So, all right, pile number 1. Okay, I'm already getting a lot, actually, right off the bat. I love it when that happens. I feel like this is a person who might look like they've got it all together here, actually, like with the box. They may be very scheduled, very principled, very organized, very neat, very tidy, very clean. And this is somebody who may also have like a plan on whatever level. Like this could be a person that very well has like a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 3-month plan, and then has like 4 different planners, or, you know, it can be as grand, or, but this is definitely, I feel like, somebody who is planned, somebody who is organized, and they may also be like an introvert, or this might be a person that likes to work more independently or work alone, because I do think some kind of core wound here comes down to like not trusting other people. And I think it's because, believe it or not, this person actually possibly experienced a lot of chaos in their early home environment. And so things were like very up and down. So I think this person kind of relied very heavily on themselves. So I feel like they have a core wound around trusting others, relying on other people. They have a core need for just like stability and for things to be predictable. And that way they can kind of navigate. I also feel like this person has a core need of like autonomy and being able to be themselves in their environment. And I just feel like for long periods of time in their youth, that did not occur. And so they were just this person's basically trying to always like manufacture or hold on to any scrap of like normalcy, predictability, routine, structure that they can. And so I think on the surface, it might just appear like, oh, this person doesn't have any core wounds. This person like looks like they've got it all together. But really, I think this person's core wounds actually center around chaos. And that's interesting because I call myself the chaos witch. We're sitting here on a chaos channel, right? And so I think this person doesn't do so well with chaos, although I feel like this person could really tidy up a mess. And I think that's organizationally, like bureaucratically, in terms of systems, in terms of, well, this should go here, and let's have a filing system, and let's color code all of our binders. This could very well be like a Leslie Knope kind of person, for those of you that watched Parks and Rec, and she was always using the color coded binders, and for every little thing she had like a binder. It could be that. And I kind of feel like that is an adaptability, this person's organizational skills. And I feel like this person is actually hyper adaptable. Like I said, I think they work best on their own. This person, I think, makes a good leader in the sense that they always see like what needs to be done and what's going wrong. But I think this person inherently does not trust other people. And I don't know that other people are going to like get on board so easily with also being so organized. And I think this person is probably a systems person. They're like, well, if we all do it the same way, or if we all, then we're not out here hurting other people. I think that's the subtext. See how you're not hurting other people? See how when you don't do your closing procedures the night before, how the 5 a.m. crew doesn't have to cry and bust ass. And now we have all this, like, you know, I really feel like this is the person. The Bayou, thank you so much for the super chat. I feel like this person would make a really good consultant. This person, they're a good mess cleaner upper. This is a person who can walk into a space and just kind of feel the flow. They actually feel the flow pretty well, and they do kind of like try to systematize it. And I think this person is like, on the inside, I feel like they're just begging people to be better. They're begging people to be more considerate. They're begging people to be more organized, and to consider like the public space, because this person actually does have a lot of attachment wounds. This is also probably a person that could have felt very parentified. Like this could be that classic Jesha, like elder sibling. This person could literally be an elder sibling, or they could be an only child. Doesn't have to be, but like that's the energy of they were relied upon much too early. This also could be a person whose parents actually played the role of the child, because I'm hearing that they were emotionally dysregulated. They could have had like addiction problems. For some, their parents could have been like in jail or something. And so they had to pick up, or they had to work all the time. This could be somebody who like grew up in poverty, and maybe both their parents had to like work multiple jobs. And so this person had to like pack the lunches and make sure that the dishes were done when they got home. Like, you know, this is somebody who really took on a lot of adult responsibilities when they were young, and that became their kind of like safety zone. I imagine this person could be kind of wild if you get them drunk. This might be a person that like surprises you. This is the person where like when they become drunk and they're like, what I'm talking about is a state where they're like, their inhibitions are dropped. All of a sudden they're like very fun. They're very childlike, or they're very expressive or creative, but they've just never been allowed to express that. This person definitely is, I think they're probably very good in their masculine side, which is like the straight and narrow. They're very like regimented. I think this comes from past lives. This person could have even had past lives as like military, but like what I'm getting from that is like, I don't mean military in like the medieval times where everybody was, you know, like kind of covered in dirt or something. And then like there's this, I think it was the movie The King. I don't know if it, with Timothy Chalamet, and they show the battle scene. And I saw that and I was like, I really did not think about it, but sorry if you can hear the beeping. I really didn't think about it, but that's probably how battles were back in those times, because they were all just smushed together, like just smushed, and like they could barely even move their arms. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the regimentation. You know, it's like we're up at the butt ass crack of dawn. You get out of your bed that you hardly crinkled at all. You make it. You fold your clothes just so. Somebody's coming through to check, like, you know, with the dust glove. Like, it's kind of giving that. This person has had lifetimes, and it might be on other planets. I know, like, the Pleiades, they're kind of like the protectors of the galaxy, and they're known for that. But that's neither here nor there. It just came through, so I mentioned it. So they're really good in their masculine side, but I think this person is owed certain karmas by the exact people that cause a lot of drama and chaos in their life. People who are emotionally unregulated, people who don't contribute to the space, people who sweep things under the rug. But I'm also seeing, like, okay, if we divvy up the chores, this may very well be a core wound where, like, this is the person who does the entire group project, where it's like, okay, we divvied up like the things, but then, and I'm going to do mine to the fullest of my ability, and it will be the reason that we get a 98%. But that asshole over there is like cutting up sugar packets and like sliding it under, like, you know, it's just, ugh. I feel like this person's been around people like that. Those people owe this person karmic balance, considering their needs, considering other people's needs. And I don't know that they necessarily got it or get a lot of it, because if those people were to repay this person the karma that they're owed, this person's feminine side, which I feel like is kind of magic, would come out and it would express themselves, and this person could relax, which I think is what they're owed as well. This person holds themselves in a very tense way. And I think this person's kind of forever chasing a finish line of, well, when you start pulling your weight, that's when I'll relax. And nobody pulls their weight around this person, or at least the people around this person, they don't see how much it hurts this person that they are a mess, and that it's not just a them problem, that they are a mess. And I feel like that's the core wound that this person's kind of constantly confronted with. And it's not with every person in their life, because some people, yeah. And that is like aligning with whatever these people's core wounds are. And I wonder if it'll come out in another pile, like why they're such a mess. And weirdly, I think it's because they're fostering a kind of codependence. This is reminding me of the Six of Pentacles, where that, it just stuck with me. I read this and it just sticks with me. But the Six of Pentacles is one of the strongest foundations in the tarot. Like that interplay between two people, where one is the giver and one is the receiver. And I feel like this person finds themselves on the giving end. So they may have like an image of themselves of, I always have to provide, I always have to give. Is it always fair? I don't even think it's mostly fair. I actually think this person has been strategically placed in a position in their life where they are to be provided to by the people in their life, because those people owe them karmas. And the karmas that they are owed is that they are not a hot ass mess. But I feel like the other people around this person are like, well, I just can't help it, I'm just a hot ass mess. And this person's like, I don't even know, like, I could never even fathom just sniveling and whining and crying in the face of being a hot ass mess. I can't imagine not being, there's guilt here. This is a person who feels guilt when they burden other people. And it's because this person is always burdened upon, and they know how bad it sucks and they don't want it to occur. And I think this person is also, they want things to be equal. And I think these people around them that are a mess, they are actually tyrannical, because they demand more from this person than they have a right to. And I mean, these people are not to demand anything from this person in this life. They're supposed to actually be giving to this person in this life. But instead, this person always feels guilted into giving to other people. And it's giving security, giving structure. I think other people feel better about themselves when they're around this person, because this person will create the system. This person will create the stability. And these other people just plug themselves into it. But I'm getting that they're adults. Even when this person was a child and like those people around them are adults, or they were older. And it's like, why am I the one providing the structure or the routine or something like that? This is the little kid that's like, please don't be late again, mommy. Like, you know, it's embarrassing when I have to, you know, make the teacher wait because you aren't here and nobody wants to leave me behind. Like, you know, this is a kid who's like trying to give their parents their medicine. Like, did you take this? Like, this is that kind of a person or a child. And so they have a warped view of what is actually equal. And I think this person can feel guilty for needing help. but this is like in the bare minimalist of ways. And when this person finally snaps, because this is very type A, this is very, because other people force it upon them. This is the kind of person that would experience the cruelest treatment when the people who do this to them calls them a nag or something. And it would be because this person's like, remember how I'm pulling 75% of the weight? And you stare off into space and pull 25% of the weight. And then every single time I bring up that you're an unequal tyrant and that you are an absolute mess and that you have no reason to ask this much of me, but yet here you still are doing it. And then they're like, whoa, you're such a bitch. Like, have you considered being more compassionate? Like, have you considered my needs? And this person on the inside is like, all I do is consider your needs. And I'm the one, this is like neglected. This person has like a neglect wound, an abandonment wound. This is somebody who creates a deal with somebody, whether it's written or not, and that person reneges on it. And this person's left holding the bag. And they're just always, it centers around mess. I always have to clean up the mess. And so if this person is like a workaholic, or if this person, and I think this person gets blamed for being the way that they are, and like no one's pulling their slack. The way to change this person is what you should do, because if you're around this person, you absolutely owe them a karmic debt. Absolutely. And I feel like it's a big one. I feel like this is like, not only are you getting up to 50%, you are making up for lost time. Like, you should really get yourself up to 50%, and then you should be taking on 75% for a while for this person. And you should do it with a smile on your face, and you should say thank you to them while you're doing it. That's who this person is and has been, I feel like, for multiple lifetimes. They get no credit for doing it. As a matter of fact, I think they get treated poorly. I think this is a person who gets yelled at or gets in trouble when the team doesn't function, even though this is the person giving 75%. And so nobody else is like held accountable. So there's like a compounding karma, social karma, that is due to this person. And it's because this is the gap filler. This is the person that like always steps up to the plate. And I feel like this person is just honestly flabbergasted as to why other people can't, because there's like a guilt thing here. There's a guilt thing. There's a guilt of like, if I don't perform, everything is going to come crashing down and it's all going to be my fault. And I think it's an absolute crime that people have made this person feel that way. And then people like really don't want to lose this person. This is a person who gets treated like shit until they leave, until they just decide like, I have no idea why I'm dragging you guys behind me anymore. I literally have no idea. Like, you don't add anything to my life. You're just a burden. And then even when I hear things like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, well, why don't you stand up for yourself? And I try to, and especially because this person's like really, really wound tight. And so they might have an emotional outburst. This person's not seen as emotional, but it's because you don't know how to read their needs. This is the person that's always keeping it together for other people. I actually think this person is the most abused person in the room most of the time. They may find themselves as an authority or as a leader, because again, this is the person that people's heads will naturally swivel to, of like, clean up this mess. I also think that like, because this person has their shit together, other people will go to them with their personal problems with an expectation that this person for some reason owes it to them to solve their problems because this person can solve their own. They're just not looked at as a person. This person's actually looked at more like a machine. Okay, so that was a lot. I'm just gonna, okay, so I just pulled this out. I was on the internet and I created like a couple of these. Like, I don't have very much, but I like to make sure that I have some kind of knowledge base, like whenever I'm doing this, so that when spirit can talk to me about things, I kind of know what it's doing. But so this is Enneagram 1. So somebody here could be an Enneagram 1. I have to be perfect to be loved. And Enneagram 7, I have to be fun to be loved. So this could be a person that has that weird blend of they're a perfectionist, but they're also fun. And the social funness is a part of it. Where this is the person that's like, whistle while you work, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You know, this is the person that's like, okay, so we have to mop and we have to this and we have to that, but it doesn't mean we can't have fun. And this person will like crank up the bass, you know, and the making sure, oh my gosh, I feel like nobody knows how to see this person, because they really shouldn't even have to be doing that, because this is a person who cares so much. So when because this person knows what needs to like get done. So, and they'll do everything. Like, this person's doing everything behind the scenes, and they make it to where they're basically just mama birding it to other people. Do this, do that, do the other thing. This is not the kind of person that burdens you. If you ask them a question and they have to think out loud about it, this is a person who will do it all behind the scenes and then say step 1, step 2, step 3. And other people, I think, then take it out on this person that the work needs to be done at all. But entropy is the reason why the work needs to be done at all. The circumstances of your life on earth is the reason that cleanup and maintenance and things like that need to be done at all. It's not this person's fault. This person's just not running from that reality. And this person just has like because of their core wounds around people sucking, people saying that they are capable of doing things and then not doing them, and blaming them. And, all of that, like everything just goes to shit if they're not absolutely perfect. And then on top of that, this is the one person who's doing the most and they always get blamed. The Lightheart Alchemist, thank you so much for the super chat. But on top of that, this person will notice people being sad, and this person will notice their discomfort, and they will go the extra mile to make sure that people are like happy while they do it. So this person's now taking responsibility for other people's emotional state. They're just not. So if this is you have to way pull back. And people are going to call you names. People are going to blame you. People are going to say, I don't know, this team used to function. And you're like, this team used to function because I did 75% of the work for 25% of the pay and 2% of the respect. And I'm not pulling your weight anymore. And I feel like this person, they may actually be like a leader, because this is somebody who will earn that shit too. And they won't get paid enough ever. But they'll earn that shit. And then they're surrounded by like sad sack people who suck, who are just like, when, like, I don't understand why I had this pinky. Do I have to lift this pinky? I'm exhausted. Okay. Like, you have no idea how much work I just did. Like that. Oh, like how many calories was that? That was like, oh my God. Like, I'm trying my best here. And this person is like, you want to watch that? Because I actually think some people are manipulating you. They're pressing into that core wound, because this person, like the people that are around, like the mirror image is like people who feel victimized for being asked to literally wipe their own ass, or like feed their own self, chew their own food, like clean their own room, do the job that they were hired to do and agreed to do. Like, these are people that that victimize others, and they victimize up too. But this is like, the person that this person gets hurt by is toddlers in grown adult bodies. And I'm just convinced that nobody does more damage in the real world than toddlers in adult bodies, because there's no way to rein a toddler in when they're 6 foot tall. There's just no way. And I feel like that's who this person is kind of surrounded by. And I just heard the word demons. So demons in Vedic astrology are associated with the nodes of the moon, the north and south node. They're very karmic energies that have to do with your past lives and your future lives. And when you take a lifetime, and I'm just pitching this to you, when you take a lifetime to really burn through the karma of your demons, if you have earth angels, you have earth demons. This is definitely a person who has earth demons like around them, who are codependent, who just like suck their energy, like being this way. But if you stop playing the codependency game and you're just like, look, I'm really sorry that it, takes so much out of you to wipe your own ass, but like, it's literally not my problem. So, and you're going to get called all kinds of names, but I feel like it's the people that you're around. This is definitely a person where it's like, it's definitely the people that you're around. This is the Jesha energy that I always pick up on. Jesha is like the elder sister. They do way more than they're expected to do, and they do not get the credit for it at all. People a lot of times treat this people badly, but this is the person in pile number 1 where if you treat this person kindly, if you make sure they get a fair shake, your fortune will grow, because this is Jesha. We are in the Kali Yuga. Jesha's energy is really coded in the Kali Yuga. They're not noticed. They're demonized. They're by demons. And by earth demons. Again, you have earth angels. You can also have earth demons. These are the people that's like, oh my God, like I was asked to do a job. Can you believe that? It's like, it's that kind of energy. And so earth demons like have been around this person. They demonize this person who is probably an earth angel or is trying to be. This is somebody who's working towards maintenance, towards sustainability, to the point where they're even taking responsibility for people's emotions. Like, it's not this person's fault that you hate your job. Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to a world that is constantly decaying. This person didn't do that to you. You are a part of it. You get to choose how you meet the world too. So, this person actually has a lot of core wounds, but I just feel like this is the person that they continue to be victimized well into adulthood, because people don't look at this person as having them. People look at this person as having all their shit together and therefore being like a very strong person. They don't see that the way that this person is because of their core wounds, just like everybody else. I would say this person is more adapted, like this person's very adaptable, and this is a person that you can talk to. Like this is a person who will take responsibility for themselves, but they overtake responsibility. And so if this is somebody that you manage or that you are, you have to make sure that people are not taking advantage of this person. That this person, if you notice this person overworking it, you know, when you do this is the kind of person where when you do their like performance review at work, you have to, you really shouldn't performance review them. They're going to overdo it. They're doing a great job. You have to make sure they're not overdoing a great job and 10 people under them aren't doing enough. That's what you should judge this person's performance based on if the people around them are working hard too. Because this is somebody who will like just take everything like basically on their plate. Yeah, this person I think has just lazy people crop up around this person. Lazy people with every excuse under the sun. But I think there's been some healing here. There's Saturn. I think this person also, again, they are Saturn. Saturn is bureaucracy. Saturn is rules and agreements. So what this is telling me is that this person's very democratic, actually. So this is somebody who is like a leader. But they're very democratic because if you want to be ruled by the group and not by a tyrant, you have to have a set of agreements. You have to have, we're watching this play out in our world right now. That's all I'll say. If you want to be ruled by the group and not by the king, the tyrant, or the dictator, you need a bureaucracy. You need a set of agreements that because everybody has different opinions. Everybody has different needs. So that's what this person really does adhere to that. I feel like this is such a systems oriented person. This is somebody that they protect the system, they build the system because they believe in the system. But I think this person's blind spot is that you can plug obnoxious people into the system and it's all still going to fall apart. You can't systematize everything. You need people with heart. You need people that demonstrate empathy. I think it's hard for this person to realize when people around them don't have empathy, and it's because they're not pitching in. And she's fiercely loyal. Yeah, exactly. This person has been hurt a lot in their heart. This is someone who is a giver, but this is an earthy person as well. This is somebody who gives in a very pragmatic sense, because it wouldn't surprise me at all if this person came from poverty, or if they were just neglected or abandoned. Like this person was not taken care of on an earthly level. Things were not calm. Things were not stable. Things were not provided to this person. So I feel like this sucks, because I feel like this is a person who does everything for everybody else. This is the person where it's like you give them a generic Hallmark card and it says, you're doing great, high five. And this person would like tear up. This person would like, a kind word matters so much to this person is what I'm getting. Like if you just notice that this person does way more than they should and you don't blame them, this is a person who is just so used to getting blamed for everything. It's weird. It's weird, man. I feel like actually, if you pull back and look at this person, it is weird. The social dynamics around this person, it's absolutely fucking weird. They can never do enough. And people just feed into it because I think this person's literally surrounded by demons. And I mean like earth demons, the opposite of earth angels, the people who don't pull their fair share, who don't care to contribute. This person has been heartbroken multiple times. They've been betrayed. They've been stabbed in the back. Things that are important to this person really applies themselves to things that are important to them. And actually it is the group. But this is a person who sees that the group will hate each other if the night crew is constantly dunking on the morning crew, and the morning crew is constantly dunking on they show their love in such an earthy way, and it is love when it comes from this person. But I feel like this is actually a person who will pull back from the group quite a bit because they don't trust people, and it's never enough. Like that sucks because this is like such a bleeding heart. This is such a pro-social person. Oh God. Oh yeah. But people just don't treat them fairly, and this person doesn't see it. So if this is you, I feel like you do not see, like you think this is normal. And I'm telling you, like if a safe person came around you, if a sane person came around you, immediately they would notice that the dynamics are super off. They would be like actually disturbed at the way that people speak about you, because they can see, anybody can see with their eyes just how much you do. You can't miss it with this person. You really can't. You have to try. You would have to be obnoxiously unaware to not see the absolute imbalance of, and this is on any scale, this is a partnership. Like if you met a couple and this person is one of the couple, it's like laughable how much this person brings to the table and how much their partner doesn't. If this is a group, it's laughable how much this person does and the rest of the group doesn't. To where like any safe person is going to pull back and see that something is like really, really off. Yeah, this person, they're a planner, but I feel like because they always get taken advantage of in this particular way, they're always looking for the next like piece of earth to like jump to, something else that they can. So I feel like there's a lot of injustice around this person's space, just so much injustice, karmic injustice, because this is a builder. This is the person who will build something up and then they get treated so badly that they have to leave. This has to stop. Like there's a lot of karmics around this person. This has to stop because this person gets the short end of the stick. This is the person. I just heard, upon this rock I shall build my church, which is like Peter, right? In the Bible. This is like, upon this rock, you can really build something. This is like such a planner too, but they just don't get respected. So this person has a core wound of being abandoned, not being seen, being blamed for everything, people not following through, entropy. They have a core wound of just things just always decaying. This person, I imagine, is so painful for this person too, because they know. They can see it. They can see that there's a solution. They see exactly what the solution is. This person outlines it in such a mama bird fashion where it's like, let me chew your food for you, dear. Just do that. Just do this. Just do that. Like they, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know, it's kind of like that. This person just leads everybody right up to the water and they're like, I literally don't understand. Like they don't get it. This person just doesn't get it. All right. So anything else? Because I feel like we've kind of covered it with this person. This person is all heart. It wouldn't surprise me if this person has like Venus in an earth sign, or their sun in an earth sign, or Mercury in an earth sign. And I think that actually people are intimidated by this person. If this is you, people are intimidated by you. They don't see your core wounds. They don't. They just see you as somebody who has everything together. And they don't understand the connection here at all. They haven't stopped to consider your humanity, and people won't unless you kind of get around other people that maybe have the same core wound as you, or are secure in their attachment style, or have been healed in some way. But I think actually people are very attached to you. I feel this is Jesha. Look, we've got the Wheel of Fortune here. That's what I'm saying. The way you treat this person matters. And I'm talking about in a cosmic sense. This is the kind of person, they say, if you worship Jesha, which is like, even if you give them that like shitty Hallmark card, your luck will change. If this person tells you to jump and you jump, it's in such a positive alignment for all the right reasons, your luck will change. Likewise, if you're shitty to this person, your luck will change. Yeah, I just heard, so choose wisely. There's a lot of confusion around this person. I imagine like people get it wrong with this person because they're so misunderstood. And this is really one to watch. This person will probably accomplish something in their life, but this, and it might be something that not very many people consider as an accomplishment, because this person is like, I organized all the file system, and like they take you back to this like huge room and it took them 30 years or something, but they did it. You want to watch the group around this person. You want to watch the group around this person for sure. And if this is you, I feel like maybe consider a job where you work independently. Because I think you get taken advantage of in social situations, and then try to build your social relationships separate from where your responsibilities are. That would be my suggestion in working through that. If you can work independently, and if your partner's not bringing home the bacon, if your partner's not doing something, maybe consider not having that person as a partner. And that way, everything that you do just actually nourishes you. Because if you have a partner, that partner, remember what I said about working their way up to 50% and then even 75%, that's what should be happening. So if that's not happening, it's important that you make sure that your labor works for you and that you're keeping everything that your energy is going into. And also that you're not solving your partner's problems for them or anybody around you. You're not to be doing that. And it should bother them. And it's not your fault that it bothers them. Because they're meant to be stepping up to their karma when it comes to you. You're not to be pulling this person behind you or anybody. Yeah, I really think this is a group that's encouraged to go independent where responsibilities are concerned. So home and stuff, like, not that you have to be alone forever, but that way it frees you up to have social relationships that are not based on dependence, because I just feel that more than likely you're going to get the short end of the stick. And I'm not trying to maybe not, that could change. Some of these people could step up to the plate. They could actually pour into you, and you should definitely be open to that, especially as like you're healing. But I'm just saying, like, you want to have your eyes open, and you want to be you have to call a spade a spade. This is a group that has to call a spade, and sooner rather than later, so you don't get sucked into unequitable jobs, unequitable living situations, unequitable partnerships. That's the risk for this person. And you're going to be the person that's seen as having the most power because you have your shit together. Never mind, you're a wounded person too. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck that you have wounds or what you need. That's the risk. You're just going to always be around somebody whose wounds dominate the space. And this is an extremely wounded person. And they figured out how to be adaptable, and other people can too. So that's pile 1. Compassion. This is definitely a person who would need it. Yeah. Oh, good. All right, so. All right, if you're just joining us, we just did pile number 1. I'll put this up here for a quick sec while I get a drink and refresh my glass. And that way you can pick your pile. We're moving on to pile number 2. Lillard Fondy said, I've been healing and everyone is pissed. Narc paradise around here, or was. That's definitely a person where it's like you're just surrounded by snakes. And literally when you start to take your power back and the dynamic isn't tilted like this, people will get pissed because they feel entitled to your energy. They feel entitled to your money. They feel entitled to dragging their feet while sit back while you do everything. They feel entitled to that kind of dynamic, which is gross. Yay. All right. I do. I am a 3 wing 2. Which is like the overachiever person. Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, all right. So we're moving on here to pile number 2, which is Kairos. Pile 2. All right. Let me just get my gloss. I didn't put my gloss on. My lip gloss be popping, you know. There's a lot of sounds around me today. And it's like still wintertime. Like usually for whatever reason, people do a lot of like yard work around here on Fridays. But I don't know why that is. It's like actually snowing here too right now. Not like hard or anything, but it's just surprising that people are outside. Okay, anyways, pile number 2. What are we doing? Their core wounds. All right. Pile. New energy for pile number 2. What's pile number 2? Oh no, they're so wounded. I'm just kidding. I just pulled out a lot of things here and I was like, I feel like this person's like, uh-oh, what are you going to say? All right. Core need, attunement, which is the capacity to attune to our needs and emotions. And it can manifest as pride in being the shoulder people cry on, making themselves indispensable and needed, pride in not having needs, and it can make them feel needy, unfulfilled, empty, and undeserving. Catherine, thank you so much for this super chat. Windy here, she said. Okay, so this is interesting because I feel like that's basically what I described in pile number 1. And this always looks like somebody looking through a peephole to me. So I feel like there's a message here of some person like realizing, and there's always an issue of time with this card. So over time, I feel like this pile number 2 has actually watched a person like this, that they're starting to recognize something here about somebody that they're in a partnership with, or somebody that they have this vow to, somebody it could be that they're married to, somebody that they have a karmic contract with, a soulmate kind of energy of like this please don't go energy, and kind of even recognizing why they are the way that they are, why they pull back, why they don't want to like be near them or something. They're recognizing that they have a need. Okay, so I feel like there's a mirrored energy here where this person's realizing that they have to tune into their own needs and emotions in order to be able to tune into somebody else's needs and emotions. So they have some kind of core wound around not being able to do that. And I don't know what kind of home this person grew up in that I'm tapped into, but I think it blunted or stunted their emotions in some way. And this even, because I said blunted, like this even could be, I'm kind of getting early weed use, to be honest, that actually did blunt out this person's emotions. And they're showing me something to do with the brain where, I feel like it's like brain fog kind of, an energy where this person just was like this person has a core wound around not tapping into the emotions around them because maybe it was unsafe. And so they're seeing their own core wounds through the core wounds of another person that they've observed over time. Another person that they actually were pretty unempathetic towards. It doesn't mean that they don't care, because I think that they actually do care about this person, but they were pretty unempathetic towards this other person. So it's like this person, their core wounds are such that they needed a very strong mirror that they cared about on some level in order to show them their own core wounds, which is something that keeps them detached from their emotions and like meeting their own core need of attunement, if that makes sense. Okay, look, Enneagram 7 came out. I have to be fun to be loved. Okay, so this person, all right, let me just read this here and then fear of losing self. I run to avoid capture and maintain freedom. This person's afraid of enmeshment. There could have been like, this person could have come from an extremely controlling household. Like they could have had some kind of in some way. It could be emotionally controlling. It could be physically controlling or something. Like this person's afraid of being controlled. I think there's an emotional component to it. So if it's the dad, then I feel like the emotions were very volatile, scary. So they don't want to tap into that, so they blunt themselves out emotionally. And because of that, it's not that they're not a nice person, but they are just empathetically unaware of the way that they affect people around them. And they're also unaware of their own needs. So this kind of sucks. I'm sort of getting like a blank space here with this person. And I just heard, I got a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. So they could flutter here, there, and everywhere when it comes to relationships because they have a fear of losing themselves, possibly in relationships. But I'm literally getting a blank space. This would be a person that honestly might be very frustrating to be in a relationship with, because if you bring your problems and like the way that this person makes you feel, this person's gonna be like they don't even know. They don't know their own feelings. They don't know your feelings, and they don't know where to start cleaning up feelings, because I feel like feelings were an unsafe place in their household because they were probably negative, because this person maybe was like always getting in trouble, but maybe even it was unreasonable, the things that they were getting in trouble for. It didn't follow logic. It wasn't predictable, because if it's predictable, then this person would know how to act in their environment in order to avoid negative consequences and receive positive praise. But this person was not. There's definitely an attachment issue here. I feel like this person's very dismissive, actually. Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat. So emotions were unsafe, their own and other people. So this person's kind of spacey. They're like kind of a space cadet, and it's this like in relationships or in some way. And I think this is a person who you would probably get frustrated with, because you would have to spell everything out for this person emotionally. And this is an intelligent person. So you probably would be like, I just don't understand why you seem to have this like giant blind spot when it comes to emotions and the way that I feel in this space. I literally share this space with you every single day. Or how could you not make the connection between you behaving in such a manner and me feeling in another manner? So this person comes across as though they lack social emotional intelligence. In reality, they don't. In reality, they've blocked off being in touch with their emotions and with other people's emotions because it's scary. It's not that they don't have the capacity for it. It's not that it doesn't make sense to them. It's that they refuse to look at it. They're repressing that side of their brain, the part of their brain that processes like emotions. They don't connect with it at all, because to them, connecting with other people's emotions meant a complete loss of self. Because I literally feel like there was somebody crazy. Like they kind of wrote this person off. Even when they were a kid, on some level, they're like, that person's just crazy. And again, if it's a father figure, I feel like it was scary, because men their dad would have been the kind of person that's like, I'm not an emotional person. Meanwhile, they're red-faced and screaming like, all the time. But that's not an emotion. Anger's not an emotion. That's manly. No, it is an emotion. Like you probably need to like take a cold shower and cry. But instead of doing that, you're just making all of our lives a living hell. If this is a mother energy, this could be somebody that, it's that enmeshment energy where this, especially if this is a son, this could be like one of those weird boy moms that thinks she's dating her son, and they have like a weird Oedipal syndrome. And for some, they got a 1-2 punch because dad was crazy and scary and unsafe, and mom was Oedipal towards them. So they just learned fucked up dynamics like every which way. Now the scarier parent is going to be the one this person identifies as the problem parent, and the other one's going to get away with murder, and they're not going to pick up on that like uncomfortable pattern. So but if it's the mom thing or like a feminine energy, they probably were overly emotional. This is the mom that cries to the 7-year-old son. The 7-year-old's got to comfort the mom. And is it sweet? Yes, it's sweet. Is it maladaptive? Can be. Yes, because this is the dynamic between these two. And so that's what he should do. I'm literally hearing that's what he should do for his wife when he's a grown man, but he's scared to do it because he got sucked into mom's drama, and mom will probably be codependent and needy, and it is her way of controlling him and keeping him like on a leash in some way, a mental leash. She needs him to think this is appropriate, the dynamic between the two of them, so that he doesn't see the way that she's abused him. And also because she is scared of another woman taking him away. And so she'll just make herself so needy, that he has to go attend to her every need or something. And he doesn't see it as abuse, and he doesn't see it as like obnoxious or whatever. He just knows that emotions are not safe, is kind of what I'm getting. And this was a person who may well present as like kind, nice, emotionally aware to some extent, because he had to be emotionally present for mom. He knows how to do it, but it was abused. It was abused before he could even, leave the house. He's burnt out. This is like, they're showing me a little child shaking with a shaking hand with a cigarette. I saw this this picture that I want to get at this antique thing. It's $20, and it's so funny. Even if I don't get it, I'm going to take a picture and I'll show you guys. It is a black and white picture of this tiny little child smoking a cigarette, sitting on a chair with a chicken next to him. It's so random, but I want that so badly. I want to hang it in my bathroom so that when people sit down to pee, they're just going to look right at it. And they're going to be like, what is this? And they're going to have to ponder it. But that's like kind of the image. I get this little tiny toddler child just shaking in their hand, smoking a cigarette, like they're hardened and that they've done a lot of labor. This is like, I've been working since I was 4 in the mines, but like emotionally, like that's this person. And so they've just been carefree. This is like Peter Pan or something like that on some level, or they're just a space cadet. There's something like that. And it's because they have an emotional wound they have a fear of losing themselves, because that's just what their childhood was, where they were always defined by the emotional outbursts of like one of their parents or both of their parents. And not all of it is like in alignment. I'm remembering this job that I worked at, and I would get the polar opposite, feedback from people around me. And one was with somebody who worked with me every single day, and one was like somebody who like never worked with me. But the person who worked with me every single day was like, they're walking all over you. Like, you have to learn how to say no. And honestly, that person was right. And that's why I have this personality now. But then another person would be like, maybe you should have water guns, and like that. And it was just like being tossed back and forth in this tumble dryer of nobody being on the same page, nobody actually saying the same consistent message to me. And it was crazy. And I feel like that's like kind of what's going on, is like this person's parents could be very different, but both emotionally volatile, and their parents just like fed on each other in like the most noxious way. And this feels like maybe an older child in that kind of fucked up dynamic. But I think this person's been so focused on their core need of like not being enmeshed and like not being this person feels put upon when anybody has an emotion around them. And it's because their mom and their dad overly put upon them. So you'll have a regular emotion, and it's absolutely in tandem with this person not like honoring your needs. And this person will feel put upon by that, and this person will like leave. In some way they'll check out, or they'll blame you. They'll blame you for having an emotion because they don't trust where it's going after that. Is it going to violence because of the dad thing? Or is it going to, now you're going to be sniveling and crying? But I think this person, if it's both, they would prefer the sniveling and the crying, because they don't know how fucked up their mom is, basically. These ones are why I'm so protective of kids. When you really realize it, like the common enemy is trauma. And if we were serious about like any crimes or any like disorder or dysfunction in our society, we would really, really focus in on especially like the first 4 years, but we would focus in on just childhood and building a society where kids are absolutely taken care of. So true. Okay, so this person's having some type of epiphany though. Something's played out over time, and this person keeps themselves like at a distance in some way. And I think it's a fancy way. Through mental gymnastics, they keep themselves separate from the emotions that they cause and separate from their own emotions. They don't navigate by that at all. This person could be waking up to this, okay? Because we've got this, the 10 of Pentacles. So that's like it's family and it's routine. So again, maybe this person's family routine, they could be learning about attachment styles, but this person also, this is somebody who might just marry for money, or they might marry for some kind of routine that they get because it's unemotional, and therefore they don't feel threatened by it. They don't feel engulfed by it, but they also don't feel rewarded or fulfilled by it. They're just avoiding. This is like somebody who's like avoiding. Yeah, they feel, this is a person who's having an epiphany or an awakening about this, and they actually feel ready to tackle this and confront this, to find the patterns. This is actually a very gifted person at finding patterns, and I think that applies to certain areas of their life, probably earthy areas. So maybe finding patterns in money, finding patterns in routines. They could do that for a living in some way, but I think they're ready to apply this to like their emotional side of things, because they're starting to recognize that they feel nervous. They feel anxious. I think this person has a lot of regrets about the way that they have treated people, because this is just like a light bulb going on for this person where they're like, oh my God, I've really disregarded emotions, my own and other people, because I have this core need of attunement, of having this capacity to attune to my own emotional needs and the emotional needs of other people. It was just so like, it was ridden really hard in this person's childhood. Really hard. Yeah, and so they could have pissed somebody off here. Could be their boss. Or it could be somebody here that's like cut them loose, made a decision. This could be a person that's like only awoken to it like after a big breakup or something, where somebody got really pissed with them and was like, no more. And then like left. And then and only then was this person like, shit. And everything kind of like came like crashing down. Christy Graham Jenkins. I don't know why in my head I read Christy Graham Cracker Jones. Like what? Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's going to be your new nickname in my mind anyways. I strongly believe that there is a karmic reason for the one that runs our country. 2025 is the year the universe is going to collect karmic debts. I feel it'll be something the entire world will get to witness. I agree as well. Yeah. So, but yeah, I feel like this person like really pissed somebody off. And I think it might be a woman. Because, you know, women are emotional. And I think this person was expecting this person to be like their mom or something, always sniveling or always crying or something. And this person was like, what are you doing? And then like just actually got angry at them and like made a very firm, showed up in a masculine energy. And I don't think it's masculine like their dad either. I think this person was just like, what are you doing? I'm not tolerating this. Like, and just cut off. And I think that like startled this person awake. And I think this person has like, I think they thought everything under the sun about this person, that they potentially they were okay, because they don't pay attention to their own emotions and they don't pay attention to the emotions of other people. I actually think this person's been quite manipulative in love, is what I just heard, in love in particular, because they don't care that they're poking you in your soft spots. They don't care that they're poking at your emotions because they cut off from their own, or they do it and they don't even realize that they're doing it, and they don't care to realize that they're doing it. So it's one of the two, because I feel like for some, this, I don't even want to say that. Like, it's nothing bad. It's just, I don't know. I don't want to confuse you. But yeah, like, I feel like this person could have actually been very manipulative. They could have thought that, like, them getting mad and, like, cutting somebody off, or just, like, being very manipulative and possibly, like, going and marrying for money or something. I don't know how crazy this person has gotten with this, how far down the river they've gone. But they thought, okay, this is going to make somebody anxious. This is going to make somebody nervous. This is going to keep them up at night. And really, this person was like, you pissed me off for one thing. For problems 1 through 10 that we have, I am pissed off. I'm not emotional. Yeah, that's it. I think this person got like, it's not that they're not emotional, but this person's not fucked up about emotions like their parents are. They met somebody, I think, who is in alignment with their attunement. They know how they feel. They know how they want to be treated and not treated. They know this person will, like, whoever this mirror is that spirit sent this person, it's like a divine counterpart is what I'm getting. Some kind of divine mirror this person was like sent to look at themselves in this person's mirror. They're healthy in this capacity, or they've bossed up and become healthy in this capacity, because maybe they were feeling anxious and then they were like, you know what? No, I forgot who I was for a second. This person, I feel like it's actually horrible. I feel like this person can actually be horrible to people, but not even realize it, which is even more horrible in my opinion. Like, they just play with people's emotions. They can like really be like a puppet on a string is what I'm getting. And I think this person thinks that they're the puppet on the string. And because they're trying to avoid that, they're always trying to run away. They actually end up doing that first. And I think this person's actually gotten themselves in a place where they feel needy, unfulfilled, empty, and undeserving because of this like core wound. If you're pissed with this person, it's because they ignored your emotions. And you would know that they ignored their own emotions too. This is something needed to be handled between them and another person from an emotional place. But this person was too busy allowing their mom to suckle their teat. I'm literally seeing a man hold his mother to his own breast. Like, he was too busy doing that, you know, and possibly like ducking his dad over here to like be present for somebody that he should have been present for. Oh my gosh, I sat him down and asked, what else are you going to have to lose? And realized it was me. Yeah, wow. Okay, I'm hearing a song and it's like a parody song from somebody that I love, but it's like, he went for Lady Justice and grabbed her by the tits. So I feel like there's this person went for like some kind of lady that is like Lady Justice, decorum. I'm hearing she's beauty and she's grace, but there's something here that's like decorum. There's something here where it's like order, you know, very firm, very balanced in some way, decision maker, somebody strong in their Libran energy. And I mean, genuinely. And this person has never been around somebody balanced. I actually feel kind of bad for this person. They've literally never been around somebody balanced. So in a way, if they line up with the pile number 1 person, both of them, it's like a chaos energy where like everything is like unstable. But I feel like maybe with this person, I just put that away, but like with the 10 of Pentacles, I feel like maybe there was structure around their routine. Maybe there was structure in terms of home. Things were like relatively okay on the earthy front. They had their basic needs met, but then emotionally, everything was just, you know, and this person just, I think, blunted out. I'm literally seeing somebody like getting high on their own supply. I just heard high on their own supply. And they mistake it for being in control of their emotions. This person thinks that being not emotional makes them in control of their emotions. And it's because I think this is a person who will pick at other people's emotions and they'll be like, God, you're so emotionally unstable. Until they met some Lady Justice. And it doesn't have to be a lady, but they met this person who's like very balanced. And they tried to apply this like fucked up perspective. And it's so they realize that they're not emotionally balanced. She's emotionally balanced. You're emotionally cut off. It's not the same thing. Tasha Blonde Diablo, late to the live. Can't wait to get caught up. Welcome, welcome. We're just elbow deep in wounds here. Okay. This isn't somebody said parentification sucks. This person was parentified emotionally. Where like the pile number 1, this is like, if these two are paired up together in some kind of way, it's because pile number 1 didn't have the earthy security. In some way. This person had the earthy security, even if they were poor, right? They still had like routine or something. Maybe something even looked traditional, like on the outside of things. But the emotions were like up and down. They were both parentified, but in different ways. This person was parentified emotionally. And I remember saying to somebody where it was like, their dad was like horrendous and their mom kind of followed this typical pattern. But I was like, you were the mother of your family. Like that's what you are. Your dad was crazy. Your mom had to be the dad and you had to be the mom. And that was like fucked up dynamics like in that family. This person was parentified emotionally. Pile number 1 was parentified materially, routinely. And also like routinely for pile number 1, I feel like on a regular basis, pile number 1 was parentified. This person may have been parentified on rare occasion, but it would be like big, explosive. It would be like, everybody has to evacuate because dad's going a little crazy. Come on, go, 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 you know, and this person is like the mama duck that's like, follow me, you know, like grab your Bible and an extra set of drawers. Let's go. Like, you know, that's like, that was this person. And it was actually like emotional. And I think they had to possibly keep their shit together emotionally in very high, volatile, emotional situations. It was from hither to thither, but you never knew when it was going to pop off. And so the emotions are high and they always had to keep their emotions together. But this was a child, so they weren't capable of doing that. So they cut off. They cut off in order to just see through it. And so this person may also not recognize when they're in emotional danger, when they're around somebody that is emotionally volatile. So, like I said, this person's actually very prone. They should consider it a great honor, not honor. It's a sign of healing if this person does not marry somebody emotionally volatile for the money or for the stability or for the routine. Somebody who has more than them on a material level. That's really a sign that they're moving in the right direction, because that means they're more and more in attunement with their emotions. And they're going to pick somebody that they're emotionally aligned with. This is a person whose blind spot is somebody who's emotionally manipulative. And they would think, oh, okay, this is a person, because they don't feel attached to that person emotionally, but they might have something on a material level that is strategic in some way. They're just very cut off from their emotions. And so, and they would just get in something that's the 10 of Pentacles as like a routine. And this is a person who may also try to usurp somebody from a family. They'll look at it and they'll say, that is a family that functions on a material level. And so this is also a person who can be very prone to cheating, because somebody will run to them just like their mama with a sob story. Oh God, he provides, he provides, but he's just emotionally volatile. Meanwhile, this man is not his father. The woman is emotionally manipulative in this scenario, and flip the genders. But that's what I'm getting. It's like the man like goes out, provides, and is actually very emotionally stable. The woman is emotionally manipulative. And so I don't know, there's like a blueprint for this person because of their core wounds, where they could try to collude with somebody fucking up a family, basically. And I'm supposed to say to this, because they are contributing to the core wounds of those children who already have core wounds, because I think it's the mom that's unstable. This is a very specific situation. So this is a karmic situation that I think this person has to avoid through being in attunement with their own emotions, because they're not going to like that they've done this, because nothing's like the mom is like the emotionally volatile one in this situation. They want to rescue the mom, and it's just an old like wound, and then they're going to feel enmeshed and like put upon, but they don't feel an emotional draw to that person. I don't know. It feels fucked up, but it's very emotionally, it'll be emotionally chaotic, because the partner they would be drawn to is emotionally chaotic. They just don't recognize it because they're cut off. But it would be the routine, and it would be there's money, there's stability, but it's just, and they did that. And it's fucked up. And this person just doesn't even like see it. And they're like, I don't know. She said that she cried every night. And it's like, did she? She said that, did she? But this person would like put the waterworks on, because this person's not in tune emotionally. They can't detect a fake, is a counterfeit. I'm literally hearing the word counterfeit. And there may be something counterfeit in like the money, or counterfeit in the way that people like misrepresent themselves. But that's how this person will get involved in that sticky situation. And it's because they're not in tune with their emotions. The other scenario that this person could get drawn into, especially if they're a man, is potentially a woman who does very well for her family. Because remember I told you he's the mother in the family, and his mom was the dad. So he would be drawn into a woman who's more the dad. And actually, I think she's scary and volatile like the dad. But I think puts on a good show, at least in work, possibly makes a good sum or has a good job. And then he would be the mom to that. And that's a karmic relationship. But he's got to be in tune with his emotions, because he doesn't actually like her. He's repelled. There's a plutonic thing where he's actually repelled by that kind of karmic relationship, or flip the genders in some way. But this is a person really, really at risk of cuckooing out of their family for this like comfortable dynamic, but they have to be in touch with their own emotions. Because I think this person could really get themselves stuck in a miserable family situation that they just think it's going to feel familiar. It would be absolutely miserable. It would be the same pattern that they played out. They would think that it's all gonna be great because they're gonna be materially supported. There's the routine. This person offers something on a material level, but this person's up and down emotionally. And then I think they're gonna have to apologize to the dad, or they'll if their first that's what sucks, because the first emotion that they're gonna have to come to grips with is like guilt and like, oh my God, you didn't do anything wrong, did you? This is the problem, isn't it? It's something like that. And they may cheat on somebody else. I don't know. This is somebody who could really appear narcissistic and just really fuck with people's emotions in a horrible way too. Yeah. Okay, so that was a lot of different scenarios here, but this person's having an awakening and they're seeing things much, much clearer. Okay. I have to be strong and control and in control to be loved. Yeah. I'm really getting that. This person was leaned on in some way. That's kind of a theme here. Yeah, they're moving away from their emotions. And this person feels alone. Like, this is a person who feels alone. They'll get in the perfect situation. It looks like they've got everything going on, and they'll just feel alone because they're not in attunement with their emotions. This is, you know, the Robin Williams quote that's like, I realized that the worst thing in life isn't to be alone. It's to be around people who make you feel alone. I feel like this person has to get in touch with their emotions, or they're really, really at risk of doing that. They're also at risk of becoming an ornament to society, where like somebody uses this person as an ornament. This person is also incapable of having the conversation you need unless they get in touch with their emotions, because it's not because they don't want to, but this person just literally doesn't see it. They don't see that they're not being fair. They also don't understand when they're not being treated fairly. I think this is a person who could think an absolutely tyrannical partner is fair and like balanced, and if they follow the patterning of being his father in a female body. But if they if it's the mother, then I don't know. I can't follow that one through as much, but yeah. Okay. What else about this person's core wounds? Yeah, this is just an unfair situation, but they make it look fun. I really strongly feel that this person definitely has like comparisons. They have a divine feminine here who's very balanced in their it's giving Queen of Pentacles, very in alignment with their intuition here, very much. And there's somebody else where it's unequitable, and they didn't see that because they're not in and they are comparing and contrasting here. They would need that. This person needs quite a bit to like wake themselves up. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else here for this pile. Yeah, there's cheating. This person is at risk of cheating and like literally not thinking that they're the problem. They're very much at risk. But I'm kind of getting like a man who is told by a woman that her partner that is stable and provides for her is abusive, and that person's not. And she's crying and saying that she doesn't have her needs met. It reminds him of his mom. He grew up with his dad, and he is applying that situation to this situation, and it's not that. In reality, she's actually the tyrant, and she's a blend possibly of the tyranny of his father and the physical, the scary tyranny of his father and the emotional tyranny of his mother. And that woman may have some kind of successful position in society, or her husband does. And so he will be the loser in the situation. He is, first of all, less than this other guy. He is just on a, what he has to offer kind of basis. Doesn't want to see that, wants to compare him. I think he's very, because he's cut off from his emotions, he likes superficial emotions like flattery. Somebody who will just like flatter him from a superficial level. But he will become somebody's ornament, somebody's prize, somebody that they can muzzle, because this person can't muzzle the partner that they're with. That this person's karmic in pile 2, that's the only issue, because that person's tyrannical, and I think that their actual partner would has like a spine and pride. This person kind of doesn't, in a certain way. But they want to be propped up. They want to seem like they have everything, or that everything's stable and routined. But that tyrannical person can just get them on a leash pretty easily, actually. And all they do is have to seem emotional, but be disingenuous. This person may well, if they're with their karmic, because they have a soulmate here, and they may well heal and be with that person. But if it's their karmic, I feel like everybody's going to be like, that person is so emotionally manipulative or so emotionally disingenuous, and I don't know how that person can't see it. Literally, and I think this person's going to be looked at as like a fool, or they've gotten themselves really into a sticky situation. Got them by the balls is what I'm hearing. And it's contractual, like with a marriage contract, with a business. People will kind of just look at their situation and be like, that man couldn't get away from her if he wanted to, or switch the genders. And this is a person who could just easily get themselves so far up Schitt's Creek and like not even realize it. Anyways, and I think by the time they realize it, if they go up this karmic path, they're really going to have a fight ahead of them, because they're with a narc for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Melissa says the problem can imply that only one person is causing the issue in a relationship, whereas looking at relationship dynamics is healthier and stuff. Yeah, it's just hard to do that all at once. You have to kind of build. You can only say one word at a time and then one sentence at a time and make one point at a time. So just like similar in the Libran where it's like, well, we've got to talk about this and then that. And then usually it feeds itself, right? But I don't know what you mean by like, we have to look at the relationship dynamics. I literally wouldn't know how to do that unless we're going to say, this is what's going on from this person's perspective. You've got to start with somebody's perspective. Otherwise, we're all just going to get lost in the sauce. It just felt a little bit judgy. And I wanted to clarify that, like, we're not doing this to be judgmental. We're doing this for simplicity and for clarity and following like a linear train here of like how things are kind of building. Because I think for a lot of you, somehow this pile is tied into pile number 1, and you can see the kind of like mirror reflection here. But just because we're looking strongly into one person's like attachment wounds and the way that they're kind of built up and the way that they are like applied in a certain situation, it doesn't mean that there's not also something going on the other side. But I will just say this too, because I'm a person who has talked her throat raw, trying to just be so perfect for everybody in my speech and the way that things like come across. We have to just have that baseline of understanding that I'm doing one person at a time, one pile at a time, and we have to kind of like build that. And everybody's going to build it differently, because for some, there may be an overlap here between pile 2 and pile number 1. We haven't done pile 3 yet. For some, pile 2 is going to build onto pile 3, and we've got to trust people to be able to kind of like put that together, you know? So, okay. Yes, on pile 1, 2 most important relationships. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that there here with this person. I do feel like this person's had an awakening. I think that they've got a long way to go. And I think more than not, this person is likely, there's a narc somewhere here. It wouldn't be hard to do, because this person wouldn't have that internal alarm system that something is disingenuous. Something is genuine and something is disingenuine kind of thing. There's somebody here, it's like, it looks too good to be true. And this is a person who's unable to notice that and unable to pull it apart in real time because of their core wounds of trying to kind of out. So this is somebody who runs the risk of trying to outrun a situation that is emotional and it's emotionally healthy, but it's because emotions were weaponized. Anything that hits them on an emotional level, they'll just run from, and they'll run straight into the arms of a narc, somebody who will put on the face of I'm perfect, you know, but actually is very cold in the way that they go about that. And this person, that will feel more comfortable to this person because it's actually unemotional. It's all facade, and it'll feel comfortable because it doesn't challenge this person in that way and it doesn't flare up that wound. But really, it's a trap. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting the teeth that come down that just, you know, kind of catch this person. So, okay, that's pile number 2. All right. So if you are just joining us, I'm going to put that back up there. We did pile number 1, the box. We did pile number 2, Kairos, and we are getting ready to move into pile number 3, the storm. Jack said, man, I did not even realize what narcissism was until 2018. Right? Like, a lot of us are just kind of learning that. And I saw on Patrick Teehan, you guys know that I love him, where he was like, becoming an expert in narcissism is not the same thing as healing. And I feel like I needed to hear that, because I've been learning about narcissism. And if you haven't been learning about it, like identifying the patterns and stuff, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, they don't change. They really don't. If you're waiting for that person to change and to be emotional, and you're going to wait for a long period of time. And once you kind of know that, you can navigate yourself better. So you absolutely should learn about it. But it's also just a reminder that it's not the same thing as like actually doing the healing work of having been around a narcissist and having to heal. But yeah, you just saw that post too. Yeah. Because he does a lot of repeat posts, and I hadn't seen that one before. I was like, oh, that was a new one. But I like that he does repeat posts, because healing is not like a linear process, like, and we're overcoming training. So it's like so good to have like the circular reminders, I think. But, all right. Oh, thank you guys so much. They're reminding people to like the Oh yeah, Melissa, I'm just sharing what I didn't realize. You're doing great. Just love your work. I figured as much. And it's always so hard like with the chats and things, but I do like to clarify just when things come up because a lot of people are watching this and maybe I do worry about it. I worry about like not coming across in the way that I feel or like, so I figured I figured you did, but yeah. Stay vigilant in your joy, y'all. Okay. Anonymous, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I think pile 2 is a past version of myself and it reminds me of a previous reading you did about soulmates, but in pile 2 it was a test. Well, I hope that you are in a safe relationship and I hope that you feel more and more comfortable to connect with your own attunement needs and trusting your emotions, what they're trying to tell you, and that you don't feel that if something is hitting you in an emotional way that it's scary or that it's somebody that's going to take advantage of you. I mean, we all run the risk of playing out the patterns in our childhood, but yeah. Oh, thanks. Okay. All right. So let me just take one more drink and then I'll put my gloss on and we'll move to pile 3. Catherine said, cops again against the firemen. So Archangel Michael might be relevant for somebody. Oh, and then we have the storm. Interesting. The storm. Okay. Moving to pile number 3. And I'll just gloss and compassion like we do. Compassion. Been gray rocking my pile 2. I feel like the saddest thing about pile 2 is like they very well could be your soulmate, but if that person's not going to change, then I feel like that might be a person that you do have to cut out because that person could very well be attached to people that are mean and they don't know it necessarily because they're emotionally not becoming aware that something is disingenuous. That would be a person that, I don't know, might need, they know emotional things because they were their like mom's caretaker or something. But you'd have to be like explaining certain dog whistles that you're picking up on from a person, Like that person makes me feel a certain way or like, consistently, not just like random because sometimes people have their ups and downs. Like we're all people, but like if it just becomes like a very consistent thing, you might have to like explain it to this person and they may gaslight you and not even mean to. Like this person would probably just be like, oh, I'm sure it's nothing, but it's definitely something. And this person is like potentially not aware. All right. Moving to pile 3. Compassion. Sorry, I held that right over the microphone as it squeaked. Okay. What are this person's core wounds? I just heard my grandpa used to sing this. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter for you? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter for you? So like whenever I would have like a pouty face on like as a child, that's what he would do. So I don't know what that's about. Okay, well, we'll start there. Well, actually, okay. Okay, so we have core need, love and acceptance, capacity to live with an open heart. If it's mal into like a core wound, they could have difficulty integrating heart and sexuality, self-esteem based on looks and popularity. They could feel hurt, rejected, physically flawed. They could reject you first. They could feel like they have to be perfect or never allow for mistakes and things have to be like absolutely seamless. Enneagram 2, I have to be selfless to be loved. And Enneagram 8, I have to be strong and in control to be loved. So that's like very polar opposite, that they have to be selfless to be loved. So this person may actually seem selfless, but they're actually very controlling. And there's a perfectionism thing. This is a very high strung person, just like right off the bat, like very tightly wound kind of person. I feel like this person can like pop off, and like kind of comes out of nowhere here. Hold on, I'm going to keep going with this. Okay. Core need, autonomy, which is the capacity to set boundaries, speak our minds, say no, set limits. That makes so much sense. Like having this person is at odds with themselves. Their core wound puts them like at odds because they have this core need of being loved and accepted like we all do, but they also have a core need of autonomy. And this is kind of like balancing out, I guess maybe pile number 1 and pile number 2 for me, but or this could be like possibly 2 people. For some of you, this is like 2 people with the exact opposite like needs, and that so things like pop off in storms. And obviously we all need these things, but there's like a bumping of the heads here. So, and I highlighted that. So with this core need of autonomy, there's a dichotomy here because sometimes it can present as angry, resentful of authority, rebellious, and in somebody who enjoys disappointing others. And other times it can appear as like being nice, sweet, compliant, a good boy or a good girl, fearful of disappointing others. So it's like this exact opposite paradigm. And maybe this person is very like one way and then another way, like one complete opposite way and then another complete opposite way. And it might even come about like in times of stress or when something is unexpected, because this person has a control streak. And so they like for things, I feel like this person needs to be in control of things so that they can appear to be sweet, if that makes sense. But in order to be loved. And so they don't like when something suddenly comes out of the blue that they didn't plan for because they feel they need to be in control of it. And it'll like bring that out of them, you know, where they're trying to like regain the control. But then they also want to appear like selfless and that they don't have any needs. But actually the state of being like very controlling is a state of having a lot of needs because you're trying to like control everything, you know, around your needs. So this person is very at war with themselves for sure. And I think it makes for like a very tightly wound, high strung kind of personality, or somebody who can really shock you because it'll be one way, one time, and another way, like another time. And it could also be that you've got people here, like with one, like you could have one person here that has a strong core need of love and acceptance. And another person here who has a strong core need of autonomy. And so that might present as somebody as this like weirdness of the I have to be selfless but also in control. Maybe both of these people have that. And so, but one's like always angling towards autonomy and the other person's always angling towards like love kind of a thing. And it reminds me of something else that I wrote and I put in here because one was like fear of losing the self and the other was fear of losing the other. And so fear of losing the self is like I cut and run in order to maintain freedom. And the fear of losing the other is I pursue in order to capture and control. So I think you could have like either this is a person who switch hits like that where they might pursue you in a way that feels very flippant, like they're actually running away from you, if that makes sense. This is like a not reverse psychology, but maybe reverse psychology. Actually, yeah, I think it's reverse psychology for some. This could be a very confusing person. They could be very controlling about their appearance, but then also like just feel like their appearance never like really measures up. So what else can you tell us about this person's core wound? Spirit? There's certain obstacles here. Okay. There's this Uranus energy. It's like very sudden and out of the blue, but this person's unaware of it. And I think it causes some kind of like ending here or it causes betrayals. It causes a two-facedness to come out here in this person that is like very betraying. And it's because they have these two polar opposite sides and these two competing needs. They're always wrestling around. And so it just seems like things kind of fly out of the blue with this person. They can really catch people off guard. Yeah, look, the Fool again. There could even be something in this person's speech. Or like if something is said in speech and it just like really flies off the handle here. Okay, let me just... Okay, I'm having an experience right now that I think ties into this because it's like I really wanted to get to this deck that I felt like I should get to, but I have to like dig for it. And I think this person would rather cut loose than dig because the meeting of these two opposite core needs and therefore their wounds is so much that this person experiences overwhelm, and then I feel like they just yeet. Like this person could just yeet out the back door, or they could just pop off. They could just cheat on you, or they could just say, They just say fuck you at the family dinner that they're meeting your parents for the first time. And this person's always been so kind and well behaved. And all of a sudden this person's like, thank you, Diane. And all of a sudden she's like fighting your mom for like the breadsticks, you know, or something. And you're like, I've never even seen this. Like, what is going on? I've never seen anything like this before. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what else do you want to say about this person's core wounds? They definitely don't see their core wounds clearly. This person stays kind of on a superficial level because it's very overwhelming the second that this person like gets into it, because it's not so linear for this person. It doesn't exactly make sense what their needs are because again, they have these like so strong polar opposite competing needs. And so I think this person blends them a little bit where they're like, okay, well, I got to be, you know, I have this like love and acceptance need, but I'm not going to live with an open heart. I also have this need of autonomy. So I'm going to pursue love through some kind of extreme autonomy, but somehow that's going to make them love me. This person may leave you in order to try to get you to chase them, to love them or something. I feel like this person is like back and forth or they play games or something. Friendship and chemistry. This is also a person who can like sleep with their friends or something. And you might get, it's like 1 minute this person wants you and the next minute they want somebody else, and or you would be in a relationship with this person that's like of a vow, and then all of a sudden this person sleeps with their friend or your friend or something, and you're just like, I don't understand. And it's because this is also, okay, so I get it. So this is definitely a person who could possibly be an anxious attacher, and sometimes they can sleep with people in order to gain approval. So this person has a need for autonomy. So if they're in a relationship, they could be like, oh, get off my back. And then like, I'm going to go sleep with this person. Not even necessarily because they want to, but because they're trying to gain that person's approval and possibly like be behind your back. This person could definitely be a betrayer for sure. You also could have thought that you were friends with this person and then bam, they hit you with the like, and I want to have a relationship with you or something. Or all of a sudden they were hitting on you at a party and I don't know, you were just like... Regret. This person gets themselves into a cycle. This person is always up here, man. Like they stay on the superficial with people. And I feel like they jump around, like because they have this constant need for acceptance, but also autonomy. They love and acceptance. This is not love what they experience. And they actually destroy a lot in their life. They destroy the relationships where they actually are loved, but they would have to like show loyalty and commitment, which is showing love, you know? And they destroy that. They take a giant shit on it, knock it over like a Jenga tower to yeet over here in order to gain some kind of superficial approval from somebody they don't even know that well or something. It's crazy. This is like crazy. And so they get into that cycle of doing that and then having regret. And I think this person's actually addicted to the feeling of being in regret. Patience and acceptance. Okay, so I just heard a quote from Emma. I love that movie. I know it's a book. I haven't read the book. I can't read British for some reason. I've tried. I can listen while other people read it and then I can understand it. But for some reason, when I'm trying to read like British style English, like it doesn't always make sense to me. But anyways, the movie, where Mr. Knightley, he's older and he's mature and he's the love interest like to Emma, but he's speaking about Emma's character and he says, Emma would never apply herself to anything requiring industry and patience. And I feel like this is that kind of person where they just don't really apply themselves to things for the long term. And I think they undercut themselves a lot. And this isn't just in love. I think this is in like whatever, like their career field or something. This may be a person that like jumps all around in like career fields and things. This is also leap of faith. That's the fool energy and I don't quite get it, but this person's always like taking the next leap of faith. This is a person who like lives on luck instead of actually like building certain things. And as soon as they ruin something with someone, I feel like this person's like, oh no, I'm not loved and accepted and I have a need for autonomy anyway, so bye, fuck you. Even though like they're they never resolve their issues. Like this person maybe doesn't resolve their issues. Or if they do, their version of trying to fix things, it's surprisingly superficial level. Like even if this person did hurt you and they try to make amends, I think they wouldn't really get to the heart of the matter. They wouldn't really like come at something from like a deep, this is somebody who would like try to, make a fart joke and like make you laugh and you're like, you remember that you slept with my mom? So we're not laughing at your fart jokes. Like it's out of touch. This person's like very out of touch in a certain, strictly sexual, in a certain way. I feel like this is somebody who leaps into things that are strictly sexual. And it's okay. So for some of you, you could have jumped in with this person very quickly. This could have been your friend. You took a leap of faith. You thought it was safe to make the move that you're considering because this person needs love and acceptance and validation of their looks for some. Or maybe you wanted validation of your looks and you felt like being with this person who's probably here, there, and everywhere. Hither to thither is what I keep hearing. Hither to thither is like a validation of your looks. Like, because you also have this need of love and acceptance is what I'm getting. So you could have taken a leap with this person. It was strictly sexual. And it was a spiritual lesson. It ended up being a spiritual lesson for you. This person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. I feel like this is like a karmic here for some of you. And it's meant to teach you about stability because this person doesn't have any. This person does not have staying power. They really have no intention of stability, and they're sorry. And look, this says you can expect the apology you want to hear, and I think that's about as far as it'll go. This person doesn't mind saying words because they're not attached to their words. They don't build on anything, and this person will just jump into something else. So you can expect to hear the apology you want to hear, and you can expect to hear it 7 times because it'll be, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry and I feel so regretful, and then they're going to do it again. It's like on another like cycle here with this person. Then you can expect to hear the apology you want to hear, but it's always just stays on the superficial level. And you would be like, this person expressed that they were sorry, but yet they've done it again. This is a person, the core behavior doesn't really change. And it's because they have to resolve this like inner thing that they have around, they have this core need for autonomy, but they also want to be loved and accepted. And I feel like that's not a recipe for sexual relationships because I feel like this person can lead people on. And also they can lead people on because they have this need for autonomy, like somebody that they actually feel this vow energy with, whether they're in, this person seems extremely non-committal. So I don't know if this person, has proper relationships, but if they did, they could actually care about somebody, but then they just keep fucking it up, and they could even mislead that person about how much they truly care about them because they just keep sleeping with their friends, or they just keep, but I feel for most of you, because I feel like you've got to remain grounded about this has been a spiritual lesson. For most of you, this person was never really serious, and they can kind of mislead people because they want love and acceptance. So that'll be what they front load you with at the beginning, but then they'll just hit you with the autonomy. Like, I made it very clear we're not girlfriend and boyfriend. And I bet you this person did, actually. They have an addiction. This person has an addiction to attention. They've got, and they're really smart, but they misuse it, is what I'm getting. They could like smart off at the mouth in some way. They're smart in the way that they kind of present themselves. Because this is kind of a recipe for a very slippery person. Because they want this love and acceptance. They'll use sex to this may hurt you, okay? To hear this and to know this. That for some of you, this person slept with you because they wanted love and acceptance. And I think for some of you, you're like, you don't have to sleep with me to have love and acceptance. Like, we're friends and I would love and accept you as a friend. But this person, for some reason, they like have to do that, or they think that they have to do that, or I don't know. And that might hurt you to know that that's how this person feels, or like deep down on the inside. And I think if you'd known that, you could have been the one to start a conversation, but I just don't know that this person's capable of having very deep conversations. Second chance, integrity. This person may ask for a second chance, but this integrity card says, does this situation align with your values and morals? This looks like very fast energy. And I would be careful of like not looking before you leap with this person, because you don't know how many other people this person's sleeping with. And so if you jump in with this person, I imagine that people are going to be hurt. This is, how you have heard people say like, yeah, whenever I'm on my first date with somebody, I like to ask, are you seeing anyone? And then I like to clarify by saying, is there anyone who would think that they're your girlfriend or your boyfriend right now, or that your relationship is heading in that direction? That question was invented for this person because they lead people on. They lead people on. I bet you they're very, very nice, but there's a lot of pain associated with this person because they're not serious about people. So they just not serious. And it's weird too, because it's like they want love and acceptance. They've got to give that. They have to like respect people or something. So tell me more about this person's core wounds. Spiritual lesson, balance. Yeah, this person is not balanced. They have to learn how to balance these two needs in a way that is, I actually think morality is a key here. And actually empathy is a key here. For some of you, if this is building off of the energy in pile number 2, that person's not in alignment with their emotions anyways. And then all of a sudden we're asking this person to have empathy, which means becoming aware of how you make other people feel. which is used. I think this person makes a lot of people feel used. And I think this person would be like, oh, shock, what, me? I don't make people feel used. I wasn't just like using you. We were having fun like that. It just happened. You know, I'm non-committal. Like yeah, because you suggested it. It's like everything about this person. I feel like this person could probably be quite seductive, and everything about this person would tell you that they're there in the moment with you. And they are, in order to escape everything else. And then like once they're in another moment, they're in another moment. Spiritual lesson, leap of faith. You really did learn something here about looking before you leap, about things not being what you think that they are, about the way, because I feel like there's something about the way that this person was acting where if you were acting that way, you would really be into somebody. But this is just another Wednesday for this person. This is just the way that they are. And that's weird. It's weird for, because this person's like a milker, you know, not to be too gross. This person knows how to milk an experience out of somebody. They know how to bring you up to a climax, basically. And that's all they know. And then you're like kind of left high and dry, you know? Friendship. This friendship is leading to more. I think you could have thought that this friendship is leading to more, but I just don't think that it was. I think you could have also learned a lesson here around a soulmate energy. Your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you unconditionally. I think you possibly tried to love this person unconditionally, but I think you learned that love needs to have conditions. For treatment, like you deserve a better treatment. This is also a person who will treat you like this and then flip it to try to make you feel sorry for them. You'll end up comforting them. This is kind of mirroring one of the other piles. I can't remember which one I said it in, where this is a person who hurts people. Let's not mince words about it. They do it by being flippant and superficial, but the impact that they have on people is very hard. And if you try to call this person out, that's one of their ways of keeping it on a superficial level, where this person will, you'll end up comforting this person. This person will be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to. Like, we were just having fun. We just this, we just that. Like, just is this person's favorite word. Come on, it's just a little this. It was just a little that. Just. This person likes to downplay the severity of the impact that this has on people by just. It was just a little this. It was just a little that. And they know full well that they kind of milk out another experience and then they don't take responsibility for it. And this is connected to a lack of empathy. And you might find that it's because this person's very social and they're very socially intelligent. So they'll conduct themselves well in a conversation, but it's not the same as having empathy. And you would learn that with this person, that the moment you try to have like you're like, no, this wasn't just this or just that. This is a painful punch that you hit on me. This person would flip it in some way. They might just, I gotta go. I forgot that I have to go brush my hair, and they would just leave. I'll text you, or because they can't hold it. They can't hold it. And it would, this obstacles, friendship. And I have put obstacles in your path, like with other friends, because this person's out and about. So this is somebody who like fucked the whole friend group. You know what I'm saying? And is not saying that. Like, so there could be weird obstacles between you and other people, but there's definitely obstacles to like your friendship, because it feels like now you can't go back or something, maybe for some of you. I'm feeling this person getting embarrassed, but it's only when their ears are burning and when they realize that everybody's talking about them. This is kind of reminding me of Mean Girls, when Lindsay Lohan walks into the gymnasium and she's like, have you ever walked into a room and realized that people were talking about you? Have you ever had it happen 100 times in a row? This person's kind of oblivious that they really, really hurt people and that they do it to a lot of people and that people talk. And so I feel like this person feels embarrassed, but it's because, and I think it kind of has to be that way, because this person can't be allowed to juke. This is the queen or king of the juke. They jump out, and it's because they have this need to be accepted, and this is what's going to come crashing down. Because they really do pretend to be selfless, but they're actually trying to be in control. And so I think this is the person who, what is it people do, like when somebody's got an addiction and an intervention? Like, there may well be an intervention moment where a group is like, this is actually very antisocial behavior that you are exhibiting, and you're tearing this friend group apart because of how flippantly like you are in terms of sex, I think, and trying to get people to like you, but not having any staying power with that. You're eroding the trust. Okay, so this person has like a core need of trust, but then they become the betrayer. So this person could have a core wound around trust as well. And I think this person has some kind of core wound around timing too, because when they love somebody, it's like, oh, wait, like, let me just get my stuff together. Let me just pinch it off over here with this friend. I'm sure it meant nothing to me, so I'm sure it means nothing to them, but they've worked that person up and decided they've gotten that person attached to them. And I think they say with their mouth, listen, no strings attached, but then they just put on the moves, and it really is just moves. And now that person's attached and is causing problems, is not wanting to just, is actually very hurt or is sabotaging things, this is a person who has a core wound around trust, but then they manufacture core wounds of trust in other people that then they act out, and it becomes this like self-feeding cycle of betrayal and community erosion and people not being able to trust each other. Warning, don't dismiss the red flags here. Yeah, don't dismiss the red flags here. Decision. It's about time to decide about this relationship. You may have heard whispers about this person. And you got to be careful with that, because I feel like there's the people who, maybe somebody who's trying to, I don't know. I read for people all the time that have been smear campaigned. But this person, I don't know. Okay. What else about this person's core wounds? I'm about to draw more from the bowl, actually. Because remember I said this person's, they're the Knight of Wands. In and out, no staying power. Just very sexual. This person gives them themselves sexually, but it's not connected to anything. It's not connected to their heart. It's not connected to their feelings. It's distraction. This is like a little butterfly that's like going from flower to flower. They just keep themselves distracted. But it's funny that I want to pull more core wounds out, because this person like is almost addicted to staying on a superficial level. And now that we're kind of cracking it, it's like, okay, like let's actually get deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Trust, core need. I knew it. Trust, core need. Capacity for healthy dependence and interdependence. This person doesn't have that. Healthy dependence or interdependence. Feelings of being small, powerless, used, betrayed. They also can seem strong and in control, successful, larger than life, or they can seem like a user and a betrayer. And again, it feels like it's just depends on what day you catch them on. Core need, connection, pride in being a loner, not needing others, and not being emotional. They can feel like a burden. They can feel like they don't belong, and they can feel shame at existing. And you know what's crazy is I feel like if this person were a fly on the wall to this conversation, I think they would feel shame in existing. I think they would feel like, oh, well, I just don't belong. But this is a person who has to connect their own behavior, okay? Because your behavior and who you are at your core is different. This is a person who has to understand that their behavior is well in their control. And it's their behavior that is driving people away. And that's going to help this person resolve their core need of acceptance and love, because they're not going about it in the right way. And they have to fix that within themselves, within their own behavior. Because this is a person that doesn't know this is a self-fulfilling prophecy a bit. They don't know how to kind of pull the cycle apart for themselves, Like, okay, look, and also, look, we have a core need of autonomy and a core need for connection. And it's like, how do you balance that? So this person, and remember when I was pulling the cards and it said, basically their spiritual lesson is all about balance. How do you balance that in a healthy way, in a socially adaptive way, and not a socially maladaptive way? Because this is on this person, make no mistake about it. This person's behavior, not who they are, right? Because shame is like, I am something bad, not I did something bad. This person does something bad, okay? And they have to understand that they do bad things, and that's fully within their control. And once they realize that they're manufacturing the way that people feel about them and they're not getting the results that they want, if you pull back and just kind of become very logical about that, then how do I adjust my behavior in order to get what I want out of people? Like, how do I get the love and acceptance that I want? For real, for like some kind of, I actually feel like this person's well-practiced, like Casanova routine, whatever it is. It's control is what it is. It's control. And this is a person, I just feel like, I don't know that you could have a conversation with them long enough. I think this person would just jump I don't think that they would hear you out. I think they would cut off. But this is coming from a place of control. Controlling how people see them, but they can't. But the irony is they are in full control of their behavior. This is like very much driving itself. And it's so fast too. Like it's fast. Like this person doesn't stop. They don't consider. They don't reflect. They don't, yeah. And as soon as you start to express like how you feel and how this person kind of made you feel, they blame you. They're like, great. It's the same old bullshit. Like, I feel shame because shame is I am something bad. When you're trying to say you did something bad, I need you to become aware that you did something bad to me. It hurt me. I need you to stop doing the bad thing. Me and these 10 other people actually need you to stop doing the same fucking thing. So it's not you, it's the behavior. There's a behavior. And I think it's to do with sex, to be honest. And like autonomy, this person maybe tries to solve everything with sex, but it's like, how else can you experience autonomy? Kind of thing. What does this have to do with the vow energy star? This person needs a lot of healing. They do. And they always need space and they always need distance. And I feel like they're constantly like saying to their partner something like, please understand, like, I just need space. I just need distance. And this partner is just kind of like, it sounds to me like you just can't be in a relationship. Like, because if we're at all in anything that looks like a relationship, you feel like I'm smothering you and I'm not. I'm literally we're just doing regular stuff, But I also feel like there's somebody here that this person like puts up on a pedestal that they, there's this like soul connection to. They feel responsible and they are responsible. Like, and I feel like I wish I could tell this person, like, it's not a bad thing to feel responsible. It's actually a good thing because it means you've pinpointed something. And it also means that that you're in control of your behavior. This is very hopeful. This is very promising because it does mean that you can get to the bottom of something. It means that you can change. But I feel like this person will just cut off because they'll feel the shame of I am bad, not I did something bad. So I feel like if this would be very frustrating because you probably feel like you get nowhere with this person because they're so defensive. This person's so defensive and they just run. This is a runner for sure. But at the same time, they want to clear the air. If you want to clear the air, though, this person's going to just automatically be defensive. It's not the first time that this person's had this feedback. Or that somebody's wanted to say this to this person, but maybe they can't get them in the room, or all of a sudden, like, when it's time for their needs to be met and to be seen, they can't get this person on the phone, or, Spirit wants to help this person break their patterning. Spirit wants to work with this person, and teamwork is really the key here. Interdependence is really the key here. But notice this is a Pentacles card. It's like the slowly building up of things is the key here. And possibly even like taking somebody else's lead, like allowing somebody to just like tell them what to do for a while and just kind of relinquishing that control and trying to get in like a better habit or routine. Spirituality would be really good for this person too. Like really connecting with God. Spirit's trying to give this like the higher cup. But this person, they have to find balance. They have to juggle their values here. And they have to listen to their intuition. And there really is an old version of this person that has to go. It has to go in no uncertain terms. And I'm not saying this person has to go. This is such a dramatic person too, because it's like this. You try to just say something normal, reasonable, something that you would say to any adult. Like we have these kind of conversations, right? But this is a person who's just allergic to that, seemingly. They'll just yeet out. They'll start an argument, or they'll, in a sneaky way too. In a sneaky way, because this is somebody who's socially smart. Conversationally smart. This is a person who knows how to frame it, who knows how to, and they will accept that as them being correct when they're not correct. And they've got a line of people that have the same wound from them that they cut off from their empathy too. This person can do it though. This person can do it. There's a truth here though. That they're in this Page of Cups energy. Look, it looks like a jester. It's like there's taking something here too lightweight. I think it's sex and relationships. They don't give even that energy. I'm not talking about when they do it with anybody. The energy itself is a heavyweight energy that this person's not really honoring that. Okay, anything else? Abandonment. Feels left behind and lonely, codependency. It's weird because I feel like this person actually inflicts an abandonment wound on people, but maybe they themselves also feel abandoned. You know, people can get weirdly fixated with their trauma where they like enact it out on other people, where they're now the persecutor of that trauma, and it makes them feel like bigger. So I think this person maybe has an abandonment wound that they are actually enacting in some kind of, I'm going to say it, like some kind of sick way on their unsuspecting victims. And I think I read that where rejects you first. What's the one that was like, they actually enjoys disappointing others, because I think they have like an abandonment wound that they just inflict on other people. They enjoy leaving first. They enjoy disappointing others. But even when I read that, enjoys disappearing others is what I'm getting, like enjoys disappearing on others. Because it's a way that they push their shame into somebody else, and that they get somebody else up in their head thinking about, what did I do wrong? And you know, I guess they didn't like me enough. Because I think this person has an issue with their looks and not being good enough, and about being loved in general. And I think this person is like, well, I have to be selfless to be loved, but I also have to be strong and controlled to be loved. And it just doesn't blend. Like this person, I think, doesn't understand love. There's a brutality here. There is a brutality. And I feel it's weird for me to say that because this person is smiley. This person's social. This person acts like they're your friend. They jump into bed with you. And then they yeet out. And then all of a sudden, or it's under some kind of fucked up circumstance, you know, because it's the fool energy. It's ambush energy. It's just, let's just do like without thinking about it. And especially if this is a man and you're a woman, because sex can kill you. Okay. I'm not trying to like be over dramatic. I feel like that guy in the Mean Girls where it's like, you will get pregnant and die. Like you won't. Okay. But I'm just saying, it costs more for us, doesn't it? Socially, it costs more for women. And it can seriously, you can be maimed. You can, you know, people go deaf, people go blind. It's not spoken about enough that there are risks. And so for this to be a man who sleeps with women and does this to women, there is a huge elephant in the room of a lack of empathy and of taking sexual energy way too lightly because he can. I mean, he can catch something that possibly would end him as well, but it's way different for her. And he's not considerate. He's not considerate and he's not empathetic. And for him to turn around and just be like, what? It wasn't that big of a deal. Makes me want to pop him one, because he can't be that stupid. He can't be allowed to be that ignorant of what the sexual experience actually is. And it's not a lightweight energy. It's death energy that you're playing around with. So he's not, I'm literally going to say this. This is a man not worthy of his penis. He can't maintain his own dick. It's a danger to him and other people. And he's just, what? Like, it's annoying. So I feel like this person can actually like really be annoying because they're out of touch with reality. And they just put the burden of everything like on other people, the emotional burden, the physical burden, the financial burden. If all of a sudden you got to go get a test or something, that's your financial burden. He did his thing. He yeeted out, and what? Like, we're just friends and it was nothing and no strings. And like, you know, it's cruel. There's a cruelty here actually. And it's a lack of empathy. So yeah. No to this. No. All the way. This isn't cute. It's not cute, and he's not your friend. And I think you probably learned that the hard way. This isn't somebody who's your friend. Even if you're in a relationship and you probably felt that, you probably had that connection like on friendship and you're like, oh my gosh, we're such good friends. A, he's that way with everybody. And B, it means nothing. And it's his little like practiced routine. And a friend is actually somebody who doesn't want anything from you. A true friend. Think about like your actual friends. Because in sexual relationships, like romantic relationships, you do want something from each other at the end of the day. Like it's, you know, but your friends, at least in my experience, there's more like of that neutrality of like, yeah, I'll just be there for you. Like, I'll just, you know, whatever. Like, you know, this person's not that. They're not your friend. And I think it's probably like the tower moment that this person causes is that they were never your friend. And I think they leave people feeling that there was always an agenda. And this is also somebody who uses people because for their own ends, because friendship requires you to consider someone else in their empathy. This person doesn't do that. Like, they're very socially intelligent, but they don't consider other people's needs. And I think it would be shocking, and maybe even involving sex, that you figure that out about this person. And I feel like it's shocking, like it's deeply jarring. And then I think it puts people in that, first of all, like feeling of like they were abandoned, or that they abandoned themselves because they thought they could trust something in this person. Like this person wounds people. in a deep, deep way. But also I think then it leaves somebody else from wanting your love and acceptance, but then also really wanting autonomy away from this person. Cause this is kind of the scariest person that there exists. This is sort of the I'm going to be dramatic for a second. It's kind of as bad as it gets. Because this is a person who will pretend that they're good. They will pretend that they're your friend. And when you try to point out that this is in no way, shape, or form that this person is flippant about it, they won't look at it, they won't change their behavior, they think that you're crazy, they think that you're shaming them. This person is, the reason this is so bad is because, I'm hearing Mean Girls, where it's when Janice is yelling at Katie and she's like, at least me and Regina George, at least we know we're mean. But you act like you're so sweet and you're so innocent because you're from Africa with all the little birdies, but you're just a mean girl, and she's like, and you're still at Regina. And why? I'll tell you why, because you're a mean girl. This person's still doing this to people, even though they know that they've hurt people in the past. And I'll tell you why. It's because they're mean. It's because they're mean. And so I think this person doesn't understand that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I have love and acceptance. This is a person who burns bridges too. They really don't know why people don't want to talk to them. Because they think that they're just so sweet and they're so nice, but then they hurt people in the heaviest, worst way. And then they don't take responsibility. And if it's not sex, then it's this person will be selfish, or they will, it's scorpionic energy. So it's secrecy, strategy, abuse, power dynamics, other people's money. This is the kind of person that would sleep with your man and not understand why you guys can't be friends. It's not personal, or they'll smile in your face, but then they'll go after the job that you wanted, you've been talking about for weeks. This person didn't mention one time that they were also going after that job. That's the person that this is. They're a betrayer and a user. But I think they can present as something else. And I think this person sniffs their own farts about it. They're high on their own supply about it. So this person inflicts a lot of core wounds, to be honest, but they do have them. They're just constantly shoving them into other people. They do it quickly, flippantly, without thought, and they move on to the next thing so that they never process it. Second chance. I just have to know what that's about. Decision. Support. Maybe this person needs support. I feel like this person just burns bridges and then they'll go back to, I don't know, maybe you're being asked to decide about this relationship in some capacity. And possibly there's a real soulmate energy around you and it's genuinely a friendship that's leading to more, but it's be in the here and now. And master your longing. I feel like this is something about mastering your longing. And possibly something to do with finance. This person could have hurt your finances in some way. Parissa said, is he just going to act dumb forever? I literally would not hold my breath about this person. They can make the change. It's a matter of deciding. But this person would have to stop. They would have to admit that when people tell them that they've hurt them, that they're saying something real. And this person would have to care about that. They would have to take accountability, which means... And the way that, I can't stress this enough, the way that this person cops out is by saying that you're shaming them, that they're the problem instead of their behavior. So this person would have to be willing to look at their behavior as separate from the person that they are, which is why I think spirituality would be really good for this person. Because we are taught to separate those things in spirituality. There's a core of you that always exists. It's a speck of God, and we're supposed to get back there. And trying to get back there is really just a letting go of all the things that we're not. This person has a lot to let go of, and they have to see that for what it is, that it's their behavior that's the problem. It's not the core of their being. And actually they're acting outside of the core of their being when they're acting out their core wounds. And it's a tough cycle for this person because it's highly distracting. They yeet out, and so they're not around the people because either the people don't want to be around them or they don't want to be held accountable, so they'll subconsciously just leave and yeet whenever somebody's going to hold up a mirror of this was not okay what you did. And this person's I think they're very mercurial, they're very agile in the mind, and so it's not much at all for this person to avoid. I was driving down the road the other day. I live kind of back in like, it's not country, but it's not populated. And so I was driving like this kind of more back road, and there were these two kids on bikes, and they were hopping back and forth between like the lane they're supposed to be driving in and the oncoming traffic lane. So I'm like driving this way and they're in my lane riding towards me like ways down. And they were doing that so that a car behind them could drive past. And then they were getting back over like after that so then I could drive by. But they were doing this like over hills and stuff. It was incredibly dangerous. This person jumps back and forth between the lanes. That's what they do. And it's illegal. Like, you know, they shouldn't be driving in this. They need to be driving on the side of the road like they're supposed to. You know, they're endangering everybody doing that. But their mind works so quickly and they're just like, it doesn't matter. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This person has that attitude of whatever, it doesn't matter. I didn't bother you. I wasn't in the lane the same time you were. But this person's going to cause a big crash. This person's potentially going to harm themselves or other people. And then somebody's going to have to live with the guilt of that. This person, there's huge consequences. And this person just very flippant individual. All right. We're done with this. We're done with that one. Compassion to that person. But yeah, like I wouldn't hold my breath with this person. And I also would make this person tell me that they loved me. Like I wouldn't be hanging on. Like if this person, I don't know. It's like you can't trust the things that this person says because this person's this is like the art of the seduction kind of person. But without having to read the book. Because all of it, like their seductive routine, all of it is core wound shit. And so I wouldn't really be able to trust it if this person was really putting it on. And then they're like, no, but I really do care about you. It's like literally that's what this person says to all the girls or all the guys, whatever. Literally that's what they do. But if this person actually loves you, I would make this person tell you in a way that like they can't deny it. Like don't be dating anybody else and get in my face and tell me that you love me. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't assume is what I'm saying. I wouldn't assume anything about this person's feelings. I would just be wary of that. Not because it's true or not true, just because I wouldn't want to get stuck in a cycle with this person. Even if this person loved me, I would tell myself that this person is gross, that they just behave that way, that it didn't mean anything. I would tell myself all that stuff because I wouldn't want to get stuck in the cycle with this person. I would break it. This is the type of person I would break it myself, you know? Yeah. Show me exactly. All right. So, well, we'll do this first. I'm just going to take a moment and then we're going to get to the general messages. So the general messages are just anything that Spirit wants to bring through. You know what's so funny is like, I actually feel bad after pile number 3 for roasting that person. And I think that's probably how you feel getting involved with that person. Or like if you've had to call that person out in any way, I think you end up feeling bad. Okay. Compassion. Powerful reading. Grateful. Love is a verb. What happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. Exactly. This person would have to cry on my doorstep for 10 months out of a single year before I would be like, okay, maybe you're actually serious. Okay. What sucks is to feel bad about calling someone out that needs it. Yeah. It's also a way to just distract so you never actually have the real conversation that you need to have. You never actually get to the bottom of it. You never actually feel heard because you just feel stuck in that cycle. Yeah, exactly. All right. So let us move to neural messages. Okay, so service came out at the bottom of the deck here. So I feel like Spirit is talking about acts of service and loneliness. I know that I'm never alone. And failure. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So for some of you, could be involved in some kind of service work or you're being called to doing that. I'm hearing like teamwork makes the dream work kind of thing. And look at that picture of everybody's like standing on the globe and like holding up their own. Oh, it's like a tray of candles. Oh. Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight and awareness. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight and awareness. And you're not alone. Okay, so what are you trying to tell us about this, Spirit? Let me You're trying to tell us about this, Spirit. Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so there's some kind of new beginning here. And, okay, it might look like there's blockages or restrictions here with the Saturn energy. You want to move forward, but there's blockages or restrictions. And it can feel like one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, or like you're both at the same time. So you're trying to go, but you're also trying to stop here. But there is a new beginning here, and you're not seeing something about the Queen of Cups. You're not seeing something here about a Queen of Cups energy. There's like a sneaking around energy, or you're not seeing that something here is a Queen of Cups. Maybe you're seeing somebody here as a Queen of Wands. Okay, so this feels like it just jumped off to something different, because now there's somebody here who's watching, possibly even stalking a person. You're not seeing that this person is the Queen of Cups. You're seeing them as the Queen of Wands. And it's because your mind is trying to make some kind of quick work out of something here. But there's a service is this me? I'm wondering if I triggered somebody. But like, there's some kind of like not truth that's like around here that you're not able to see. And I think you're trying to project that onto somebody else. But you're meant to be observing this person. And for some, you've been observing this person for a while. And there's a mental strategy going on. This is why we always talk about the mind, right? Because the mind, whenever ego defense mechanisms are active, you don't know it. You could have a full-blown doctorate in psychology and not know when your own ego defenses are active, because that's the nature of them. They're meant to protect you from having to confront something about the self that may well be devastating. And so I think there's a mental strategy here. And it's possibly like to cry or something. I just heard something else. I'm not going to say that. But it's strategy. And it's to try something here. A strategy is moving beneath some kind of emotionality. And it feels like tear energy or something. And the strategy is to try to get somebody confused about like what you are or what you aren't or something here like that. But there's a running away. Somebody here, like there's a running away, and but you're not alone. And the Saturn energy, some kind of blockage or some kind of karma energy, is actually a wish fulfillment. When you know how to like work with karma, it is actually a wish fulfillment. Spiritual people talk about that all the time, where it's like they would never go back to before a very traumatic event because they've learned how to work with it. And not everybody has that experience for sure. But there are some people who do. Somebody here is like leaving. Somebody here is moving away from some kind of emotionality. Why is this related to service? Oh, different perspective. Different perspective here. And I don't know if this is about yourself. Okay, because for some of you, I think you're supposed to leave something behind, and you're supposed to go towards like a job in service, or like something to do with like service oriented work. But for others of you, you're supposed to change your perspective here, that something is a service to get you to walk away from something you already feel an emotional or like an intuitive hit to walk away from. So something here is like actually a service. How does this have to do with loneliness? Oh, look, the Hermit. The Hermit is not alone. The Hermit is chilling. Look at that. That's a happy energy. So being alone or by yourself. Okay, so for some, there's like a group here. Okay, they're showing me a mirrored image. So for some, there's a group here that is negative. You know you need to move on from this group. And maybe it's like just not right for you or something. You know you need to move on to from this group. And you know you need to be in hermit mode. You know you need to like more embrace that. But it feels like there's another group here, right? I am never alone. Or there's like other people that are like also doing that. And it feels like that's another group that I'm seeing mirrored here. And that group is full of like that hermit energy, or it's encouraging you towards that hermit energy. Again, this could be us. And it's a service. It's like actually providing a service. And it's like working together. And it's getting the feminine and masculine sides in alignment. Okay. So moving on from that message. I don't like it when I think that I'm talking about like myself potentially, because I don't read for myself. There's certain tarot readers that can read for themselves, and there's certain tarot readers that can't. I'm one that can't. So I don't like thinking like, oh, is this like me? Because then it just like, I know that I can't be objective. So I don't want that to like mess me up. So I'm just going to like move on from that because I felt like maybe that was. Okay, so somebody here is feeling anxious about the past and possibly anxious about a child. Yeah, for some, this is like a child. This is like a parent-child dynamic here. Somebody's feeling very like nervous or very anxious. And it may have to do with money, or it may have to do with some kind of routine. Somebody here could be feeling distant from a child because maybe you have to like go somewhere to work in order to provide money for your child, or it's put somebody else here at a distance because of some kind of past friendship. Yes, the yes card just came out. Somebody here that you feel very happy about. So for some of you, this is like somebody you knew back in the day, like when you were just like kids or something, and felt very happy. Dang, there's like more kid energy. There's a lot here to do with children because of the Three of Cups. So you could be wanting to reunite with somebody. But I feel like Spirit has actually moved in. And maybe you feel, maybe that's why you're sad, is because there's like a dark night of the soul energy. I don't know what this comes into, but we've got like an unstoppable victory energy here. I think some of you are having some regrets here. Okay, so why is this coming out, Spirit? What do you want to say about this? Okay, there's definitely a new beginning. Somebody's angry. Okay, I can't tell where you're at in this scenario, so take this however it resonates. There's like a really positive energy here, and it feels like Spirit is offering somebody here a new beginning. And for some of you, that's what you're anxious about or you're angry about, because somebody got offered a new beginning. It's really, really happy. And it's very stable. And you could have pursued somebody else here with passion energy in order to sneak around to see if you were knocking this person who is very stable and happy. Because you wanted to like clear the air with this person, or you wanted to show off, or you wanted to impress this person in some way. And really this person was just defensive. And they weren't defensive in like a 9 of Wands way. This person was defensive in like a samurai kind of way. I got a killer face, a princess body, samurai mind. And I feel like now you're realizing that you took some kind of temptation and it led you into a place of argument or conflict. And possibly like whoever, you could have actually gotten into a relationship with this person that you were trying to use to make this other person jealous. And it really just made this person walk away. And I think maybe this is like a non-emotional situation or something like that. And it might be a highly argumentative or a competitive situation. It could have turned competitive. Maybe some of you had a child with this person. It's related here to something to the past. Or somebody's thinking this about you in some capacity. What do you want to say about this? Why is this coming through? Okay, something about mastering this cycle, because I just looked down and saw this dude at like the top of this wheel. So I feel if some of you are feeling punished, then the divine is saying, I stepped in here so you could master this. There's something here that you need to master in order to see from like a higher vantage point or a higher perspective. Yeah. I feel like we've talked about this. Anything else? Strength and the moon. There's strong feelings here for sure. There's strong fears. There's strong illusions that are like being brought up here at this time, but it's being brought up so that you can master it and like step into your own strength and have a victory. Yeah. So I feel like if you're feeling stressed out about the way that something went in the past, I feel like, yes, there were mistakes made. Something did not go as planned. And I think Spirit stepped in, possibly like for this other person. You can see that. You can see the stability. You can see the happiness. You can see the new beginning. Possibly you can see like money or something like that going on for this person. It does not exclude you from the happiness, because Spirit stepped in, yes, for this person. I think that you can see that this person has benefited in some way, but I think you're feeling victimized, but Spirit is saying, I stepped in for you too. I stepped in for you too, for you to master this cycle here. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of like where your focus should be, because I saw you sitting atop that wheel, mastering that, and possibly mastering Jupiter, which is a sign of abundance. There's a spiritual inheritance here that's like waiting for you to claim it. And for some, there's like a guru that you're working with in some way on the other side, or like through meditation, and you're supposed to get a different perspective here. I think you're supposed to realize that something here is like a functioning dysfunction, or that you were moving away from something difficult, and you shouldn't have moved away from something difficult because it wasn't bad just because it was difficult. Like difficult and bad, difficult and wrong are not always the same thing. So for some of you, this is like a spiritual initiation where you're learning more about your intuition, because our intuition can move through so many different things. And I think that you felt like something felt bad to you. And a lot of times that's how your intuition will talk to you. But you're learning something more about the way that your intuition works. And something was hard, yes, to confront. But whatever this was a functioning dysfunction, and it needed to get confronted. So hindsight is 2020. And Spirit is just like trying to kind of like just, I feel like you feel like your seeds didn't come up in some way. This is like data or feedback. And fold it in and debrief with yourself. Go back in time at that past moment. Understand what you thought was intuition that actually wasn't. What was it? How could you have been aware of what your intuition, so that you know your intuition now, so that you can understand that. So when you're using your intuition to guide you, you understand what it's trying to say in the moment now. Like learn from that. And I feel like you're recognizing that something needs to change. And I feel like that's the point that you're at now, where you're like, wait a second, something needs to change. I've been investing in a certain situation. It's a functioning dysfunction. This could be a pattern of behavior. This could be a relationship. This could be a job. But whatever it is, it's just a functioning dysfunction. Something needs to change. You recognize that now. I feel like you're supposed to have that recognition in the past, but yeah, you were kind of asleep. And it may have something to do with like the throat of not talking to somebody, not expressing something, or talking to the wrong person, or like not feeling confident. You didn't say something. I think you were looking so hard at something because it was like potentially a part of your strategy, but it's like you weren't looking at the self. And so something slipped below your awareness. And there's like an ending. But it's a transformation. Spirit is just trying to coach you through this. Like, don't be in despair. Like, it's okay to feel your emotions and to process your emotions. Because I think you're feeling sad. You're feeling anxious. You're realizing, I think you're at a similar position that you were in the past, where you kind of went left and you should have gone right. And now you don't want to mess up again. But Spirit's not wanting you to be afraid, because I think that you're just recognizing you have so much more than you did in the past in terms of like inwardly. Like, you know how your intuition works. You've identified certain patterns here. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it either, because it's a learning lesson. It's okay to say this was wrong. Spirit sort of expects this of us sometimes, to be able to write a dissertation on why something was wrong, because it means you understand it. It means you learned your lesson. It's not to flagellate yourself. Don't come at it from that perspective. And yeah, probably people were hurt, and maybe you do feel bad about that. That's good. That means that you're not a sociopath. Congratulations. Thank you. But how do you change that now? Let's ask. How do you change that now? Oh my gosh, you have to go in. You have to feel the pain. I feel like you broke somebody else's heart, or you betrayed them, and you actually broke your own heart. And I feel like there's no avoiding this, where you feel like the pain. It feels like you have to feel the emotion of something here in order to like get clarity about this crossroads and about what decision that you're making. And certainly before you have a conversation, because I think some of you are wanting to have some kind of Libran conversation. You want to have a fair and balanced conversation. You want to say what you think and feel. You want this other person to be able to say what they think and feel. You want to be able to do that, but you're not going to be able to do that if you don't feel the feelings fully first and understand where you're at with your emotions, because you're hurting. You're in some kind of pain, because look at you. You're blocked off. You're blocked, and you're trying to, and possibly you could be using a routine or a job to like stay blocked. And there may be an ending here that needs to occur. Like, not with this something here that happened in the past. Spirit has, okay, Spirit, if you feel like there's a divine counterpart situation, and what I mean by that, I don't know how you relate to like divine counterpart, but you feel like this person came in on like the light side of things, the positive side, and that it was like God energy. I feel like God separated the two of you for a reason. Like with that schism there, God separated the two of you for like a reason, and it's so this tower moment could happen so that you could see something here from a different perspective. That something here is built incorrectly on some kind of foundation, and it's got to come crumbling down. It has to. And then you've got to temper out your own energy here, and then and only then can you bring healing to this situation and sanctuary to a situation where before it was lack. This is about taking your power back. And a lot of times when we talk about taking your power back, it's from a situation where you were wronged, but you take your power back in situations where you feel like you wronged others too, because you have the power to change it. When you say like, my behavior is my own, and I'm fully in charge of my behavior. Not always, because you have societal pressure and whatever, but that could be the endings that need to occur here, where if you have people that are not, they're not supportive of you being the person that you want to be, like a moral person, an upright person, and it might need to end. And I think that you do have at least one person, if not multiple people, that possibly you did reunite with in the past, and maybe you shouldn't have. And that person's going to be mightily pissed with you, but it's dysfunctional relationship, and that person's like very controlling and kind of maladapted, and they keep you in a very negative cycle. And that relationship may have to end before. This is like peeling back the layers of the onion, right? Because you need to feel your emotions. You're not getting around that, because I think some of you just want to skip it. You want to go right to having the conversation. Spirit's saying you're not fit to have the conversation unless you know what emotions you're feeling, because you're really, really hurting. And you need to cry like a lot, I think, to get it out of you, to process that. So you can have the Libra, because Libra is an air sign, have a Libra conversation, but it's not at the expense of feeling your emotions. And some of you got to peel that layer back, because you can't feel your emotions so long as this other person or like some kind of group energy that you reunited with in the past is around, because that person is like always angry, and they don't allow, like they're controlling with fire energy. They could always keep you busy. They could always be distracting. It's like highly distracting. It feels like maybe a home environment or related. It's highly distracting, and it prevents you from being able to feel your emotions. And that's possibly why you leaned on that person in the past. But you have to cut away from that in order to be able to it's like the old lady who lived in a shoe. Or no. The old lady that swallowed the fly. You know, old ladies be out here doing stuff. It's hard to keep track of them all. But the one that swallowed the fly, and she didn't know why she swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. And so then she swallowed a spider, and, you know, to eat the fly. And then she swallowed the cat to eat the spider. And then, you know, it's like, it's that, like, yeah, you need, okay, this isn't a perfect metaphor, but it's like, say, like, you need to eat the fly, but then you got to eat the spider first. But then you got to, you know, it's something here like that, where it's like, yes, you have to feel your emotions, but this isn't a single step for this group, I don't think. Because I think that this is somebody who's been blocking their emotions for quite some time. I think you thought the betrayal went one way. Possibly you meant to wound somebody else, and you thought that only went one way. But if this is a divine counterpart, you did not, and you know this now, you didn't wound that person without wounding yourself. You didn't betray this person without betraying your own heart here. And now you realized it. And I think for some of you, it's really hard to look at the pain you did cause this person, or possibly multiple people. It's hard to look at that, but that's part of the healing, is you realizing it. But there's something in the way of that, because you've built your life in this distracting way intentionally. Like part of you did, your ego, to protect you, you know, and it's got to just like all kind of come crushing down. Spirit is saying like that's what we call a healing crisis. And if all of this feels overwhelming, first of all, you can get therapy. Like, this is what they're there for, therapists. They're experts in their field. They know how to usher. I just got goosebumps. There's a lot of therapists that are like in this audience, but they get trained like that, you know, and not every therapist is like the same. Make sure you're with somebody that you vibe with and that's not trying to sleep with you or take advantage of you in any way, your heartbreak, and that is being selfless in their and professional, like in their role. But I'm like really feeling that energy. Like that's what they're there for, to help you usher through an experience that might be confusing and chaotic, so you can fully be in your experience and experience your emotions, and they'll hold the container for you, and they'll be that healthy mirror, and they can help you sort out, like, you know, the process and stuff. So some of you, don't be afraid to like ask for support if that's something that you need. And it's like, you need this. You need to learn how to work with your inner space first. And you can't rush that, because I think some of you want to bridge the gap. And Spirit's saying, slow down, slow down. This is how you bridge the gap. You can't just rush and have the conversation. It's not, you're possibly going to end up hurting this person still, because you haven't taken the time to do all this other stuff on the back end. And Spirit is saying, that's why I instituted this break. And I think you can see how this other person has benefited, but Spirit is saying you will benefit just as much from the break that I instituted. Because remember, Spirit is the energy that loves all of us. And Spirit knows everything about you, everything you've ever done, every nasty, weird little thought you've had in your head, and Spirit still loves you. That's God energy, you know? So this was instituted for you as well. And Spirit wants to flip your mindset from being punished to, okay, this is an opportunity for me to get my house in order so that I can meet this person halfway. Because I know it might suck, but you're not fit to right now. I feel like I need to just slow you down. Like if you were a cat and I was feeding you dinner, I would have to get one of those silicone inserts in your bowl so you wouldn't like scarf it down. Like you have to slow down because it feels like you just become aware of something and then you want to rush forward. But that's part of the old pattern that's got to fall away. And there's skills that are involved in this. Relationship skills, emotional skills. All of this is like an iceberg. It looks like very small on the surface, but the skills that you can learn here, emotional, conversational, listening skills, right? Like conscious communication certifications, like things like that. It's all so much. And this is why you're alone right now, or like away from this person. It's not because you're never going to come back together, but Spirit's like in charge of this, and Spirit knows what this other person needs before you have this conversation. Because I think you're like, I just want to know what you need so that I can like, Spirit's like, I know what this person needs through and through, inside and outside. I know what this person needs. Okay. Let's get in. We're going crying. Get in, loser. We're going crying. I feel like, and you have to be careful that you're not putting your attention on this other person that you want so bad in order to just distract yourself from your heart space and possibly from confronting the pain. This could be a group that this work might be slow going at first because it sucks to know that you hurt somebody, you know, or potentially many other people, but that has to change first. And it's going to get you in touch. This is about getting you much more malleable and flexible too, like in your inner space. So that you can be more in touch with your intuition. Because I think this is a group that regrets not listening to their intuition, or you thought you were listening to your intuition in the past, but it was just these patterns. It was just these tapes. So be grateful that you're pulling it apart, because this is the hard thing. It's hard to become aware of ourselves. Like I keep saying, you could have a PhD in psychology related field, and it's still hard to become aware of yourself. And those people have to go to special therapists because they know all this psych, and then they can kind of not even like be putting it together for themselves. Is because the brain is just designed to work that way to make sure that you can get the berries when you need to get the berries, you know, and go get that elk if you need to, so that you can still survive and not be confronted with all this stuff. And that it does its job very well. So the fact that you are putting these things together is a win. It is a win. I think it feels like shit right now, but it is a win. And like I don't sit before you a perfect person. Okay. There's a lot about me that like, it's shocking. Like that moment where you're like, I'm pretty sure that I thought I was doing the right thing. And now I realize that I think I kind of always knew that I wasn't doing the right thing. And I just didn't want to be bothered by that because I had too much else going on. So that's what I'm saying is like, you have to give yourself a little grace because you're a person. You're a person. You're living life. My therapist always gives me this worksheet that I have to fill out to slow down my thoughts when they start to get away from me and reword them. And sometimes it's like very slow going and I feel like I'm 5, but it's always helpful. And I have literally like laminated papers hanging up in my office in the other room of like reframed thoughts. And one of them is like, I can only do the best that I can. And I always try to do the best that I can, sometimes through difficult personal times for myself. Good things will happen when I'm confident. Good things will happen when I show up. And instead of just getting on my case about how I can't be everything for everyone at all times, like, you know, so reframe those thoughts, like literally take time. Like when your thoughts start to make you feel anxious, take a second to reframe it as like, well, I'm aware of this. This is how I'm going to move forward. I can only do my best. The 4 agreements. I'm not trying to throw a shit ton of stuff at you right now, but one of the 4 agreements, it's about time for me to reread that, I think, because it's come up here. But one of them is I will do my best. But your best is relative and it's always going to change. Your best is going to look different when you're sick versus when you're healthy, when you got a full night's sleep last night versus like a half night's sleep, when, you know, like Your best is always going to change, but all you can do is show up and do your best. And honestly, maybe in the past, even though you were hurting people, maybe that was your best. So maybe you can get off your own back a little bit. Like, I know it's like kind of a lot for me because I try to be an advocate. And so I know sometimes if these energies are flipped ever, like in the readings, whew, I bet you could get decked. And I'm not even meaning to deck you like emotionally, because I'm just really trying to get in there and be an advocate for people who I feel have experienced something. But if you realize you're on the other side of it, which I think may have like happened here for some of you, it's like, understand that that actually might have been your best, you know? And that's okay. Maybe you excel over here in another aspect of your life, but you know, sometimes our best it is what it is, you know? You're a limited being. That's part of being human. You're limited. You have a limited amount of time, limited amount of calories, a limited amount of energy. Speaking of, I'm going to have to replenish my energy here soon with calories and tacos. So, yeah, so all the insights. Yeah. So I hope that at the end of the day, like, I don't know, because I'm a Gemini and I don't like to dick around. Like, I'm a Gemini sun, Aries moon, and like in my own mind, I don't like to dick around too much, in the sense that I just like to go straight for it, because I kind of have already worked my way up to a kind of a jog at the very least in my own process, and I feel like that kind of comes across sometimes in the way that I read, where if you're just starting out, it can be helpful to go a little slower with confronting yourself. But for me, I don't like to waste time. I want to go fast. I'm Ricky Bobby, you know, Mercury, it's the fastest planet around the sun. I'm very Mercury dominant. So, you know, I just like to get right in there and then look at it. So this is so relatable to me too, where it's like you realize you did something wrong and you're like, I'm just going to go fix it. And I'm going to fix it through having this conversation. But Spirit's saying we got to do the inner stuff. It's not arbitrary. And if you want this conversation to go well, if you want this it's Libra. If you want this relationship to go well, you have to kind of do this in order to even be able to kind of advocate for yourself and your own needs. And in order to hold space for this other person, we got to clear out the gunk in your auric field, or, you know, all that stuff. We got to clear out the gunk kind of thing. So I am Uttara Bhadra. Close. But it's probably progressed there. Yeah. It's both of them are in Pisces. In Vedic, I have a Pisces moon. In Western, I have an Aries moon. Yeah, we can do this. We can do this. Bedside manner gone. Okay, good. Okay, good. Good. You know what else? Okay, this is another thing about me is I don't know. I was looking into a lot about like the nodes and stuff, because mine, it was something like, you go in the right direction, but the reason you go in the right direction is for the wrong reasons at first. And I was like, there was no truer statement ever said. And my wrong reason, 9 times out of 10, it's pride. 9 times out of 10, because I'm a very prideful person. I don't like to be anybody's fool. I don't like to be disrespected. I don't like for people to think that they're stupid or that they're going to get away with anything. If I find that out, I'm about to be pissed, and you're probably going to know it, but actually not, because I will literally be so angry that I'll just never speak to you again, you know, kind of thing. So I'll go in the right direction. I'll like make a healthy move for myself, but 9 times out of 10, it's pride. Like my pride is wounded in some way, or, you know, and that's what I'm saying is like, I do not sit before you a perfect person, okay? But I am a little rugged, like in my spirituality. I'm not polished. I'm not a sage. I'm a little rugged. I'm a little like just that dirty little squire that just like, I'll lug your gear around, you know, I'll do the hard work. I will throw it around, you know, I'm small for the job, but I'm not going to let it stop me, and I'll just kind of throw it around. And that's sort of, I think it comes across sometimes like the way that I approach spirituality, because I'm not like very refined in it. I'm not, but I will try. I'm a doer. I will try. Baby, thank you so much for the super chat. And I think that's what I have. That's what I have to work with, and I can overlean on that sometimes. And so I'm sorry if sometimes you get dragged right along with me in like the muck and the gruff and the... because I'm not a sadguru. I'm not a sage. I'm literally like maybe at like a night level, but I will try. I'll show up. So, All right. Love our chaos coven. Thanks for spending Friday with me. And I hope this didn't hurt too much. I probably should have given a heads up at the beginning of this because core wounds are never any joke. It's always heavy energy, but yeah. I'm here for the muck and the gruff. Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to go refuel my stocks of energy. And it was lovely hanging out with you guys. We have an extra weekend in this month. So for those of you that are on Patreon, we have an extra week. But so we did our live stream yesterday. We have the 18 plus reading that I was telling you guys about that's coming out tomorrow at the same time that we always release them. And then we'll have the 2 readings that we voted on the next 2 weeks after that. And then we have a week off, which are we still putting like the from the vault in the week off? So that'll be a from the vault and that will get us through March. I love my spell candle, by the way. I'm so glad. Oh, thanks. And we're going to launch our candles soon. We're going to launch them on Patreon first. So that'll happen this week. So be on the lookout if you are a patron and you like those, because we just like to make sure that you guys get that first alert. So, because sometimes they sell out really fast. So, and that's the ritual candles that we previously had. We're going to relaunch those this week, but I think we're planning on relaunching those on the channel on Friday, next Friday. And, yeah. And then of course we have the scented candles as well. And I think that's that. So we need a movie night. That would be cool to watch a movie together. Oh, pick a little flick chick. Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know how we would do that, but Alex probably knows. But anyways, that might be fun to have like flick chick Fridays. Well, actually, we already do this on Fridays. Anyways, it's a good idea. We'll think about that. But all right. Well, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you when I see you. And I'm sending you love to hold you over for the week because the world's been a little nuts. All right. Bye, guys.